Back everyone, welcome back to another edition here of the Code for Giants Cup, Code for Giants Cup number 29 and Code for Giants Cup LatAm number 6. I'm of course just live VIP with and joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome one and all to our catch-up stream on our Brazilian tournament here. Now, for those who are unaware, for those who weren't here earlier in the week, we were actually live casting, or we were casting and covering Code for Giants Cup. Code for Giants Cup is a bi-weekly tournament. Every fortnight we do have a Brazilian only event, but our internet died. If you recall, our internet did go down mid-broadcast, and as a result we actually didn't get to finish the finals. We were halfway through the finals. As you can see here before you, we were tied 1-1. Erik and MasTeR in a best of 5, they were tied up 1-1. They were tied up in their series, and we had yet to conclude to crown our champion. So the goal here is to catch up on those matches to be able to wrap up our finals for Code for Giants Cup number 29, and then jump into Code for Giants Cup LatAm number 6, which is the Latin American edition of the tournament. The regular edition is only for Brazilian players. The LatAm edition is opening up to the rest of Latino America. Oh boy. So again, that is a plan for today's broadcast. Hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Last night, of course, we were live with the podcast, and it's been a very intense week of StarCraft with non-stop qualifiers, GSL qualifiers, RSL qualifiers. All the qualifiers have been taking place, and it's been quite intense. It's been quite intense, quite hectic, of course, here on the channel. And we are slowly catching up, right? We're catching up when it comes to all the other events that did fall by the wayside, like Code for Giants Cup, Pegasus Cups, Wardy TV Mondays, Kung Fu Cups, and of the like. We're getting there. We are getting there. Amantis StarCraft Choo-Choo, that's the other big one. But now, though, we're going to be jumping into our first game of the broadcast. Again, we're jumping in mid-series into Erik versus MasTeR. It's been a bit of a back and forth. We're jumping into game number 3 of this best of 5 grand finals match. Let's go. Game 3 is going to be on 10,000 feet. True. Is going to be on 10,000 feet. Un momento. As we're jumping into this, big shout out to Jack Golf in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. As we are jumping into our series and spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Brazilian Zerga player. We have the Brazilian Zerga player himself. He's one of our own, by the way, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. He's our boy, papi. Here's our boy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the Brazilian Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Here we go. Yes, fala galera. Obrigado, papi. Obrigado. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft, papi. Hope you enjoy. Bearing in mind as well, some of the benefits that you do gain for being a subscriber outside of just the emotes in the Twitch chat is also you do gain access to replay packs if you want replay packs from events that we do cover, like the Tunic Cups, like the Pegasus Cups, and other big major events we have permission to share with, like Kung Fu Cup, for example, Little League Cup, Rongi Cup. Then you can get those replays via our Discord server. So you can join our Discord. There is a sub-only channel there, and then you can take part in said replays. Otherwise jumping in. Otherwise, we are going to be jumping in. So far, it is going to be an early gas. So early pool, early gas here from Erik. Hyper aggression out of our Zerg player. The drone does move out. We have seen a bunch of Zerg players go for the early mining here at the mineral wall to bust in towards the natural. But here we can see Erik with the drone outside of the natural base instead, looking to go for, I would imagine, a hatch block. So setting it for the hatchery. Link speed is on the way. Bearing in mind, MasTeR, he knows that, again, with the probe scout, he knows the hatchery is missing. He knows that we have the early spawning pool. You can see he throws down the forge, and he sets up for the wall. Ooh, but the hatchery is going to be thrown down. Okay, throws down the hatchery. Now, this will increase service area on these buildings. It also forces extra buildings out of MasTeR to fully wall off. And I love this out of MasTeR. He does start to wall off that mineral wall. Again, it is very common to go for some cheese, to pull the boys, and to mine through these patches to bust into the bases. So MasTeR is already getting ready for that ahead of time. The first Zelda is already out, chipping away at the hatchery. Lings are in production for Erik. Lings are in production. Erik moves in. Does, of course, is where the forge is, where the cannons. Again, one of the reasons why you do want a forge response to this is because this early on as a Protoss player, you have very limited production. Very limited production here, so cannons do help immensely when it comes to this early game defense. And Erik is expanding. He's expanding, he's getting another hatchery, and Erik is droning up. Did invest into these links, that is true, so he will apply some pressure, and he's going to try to force a bigger reaction out of MasTeR, but Erik is transitioning. Yeah, he is transitioning here. The hatchery is getting low. This should be cancelled. We should be seeing cancel here. Yep, the cannon does finish. There's a cancellation. Erik, he does get the refund. And Erik pulls away. He pulls away, getting a third expansion again. Erik, he's droning, he's saturating. Now, as the dust settles, I do prefer MasTer's position. MasTer does have a better saturation. He's got 22 probes so far. When it comes to the natural base timing, Erik's is a little bit faster, that is true. And at least Erik did force this reaction, right? He forced out the pylon, the Stargate to be delayed. True, late Stargate, earlier Forge, earlier Cannon, later Warp Gate as well. So the build in general, the opener has been disrupted from MasTer. Has been disrupted, but now we got some catching up to do. Now we got to drone. Now we got to drone up. Now we got to saturate. MasTer for the most part is stuck at home at least until the Stargate finishes. So again, there's like an extended period of time here where MasTer can't really do anything, can't really be active. Link speed is done, so 1 or 2 adepts moving out would be surrounded, and Erik can just saturate. Erik's Overlord is behind the main, making his way in. Ooh, Erik didn't see the pylon. He didn't see the pylon. He doesn't know where the Stargate is. He's going into the main base to scout the tech, but the tech is actually the natural. So, for all Erik knows, it could be a Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts, for example. Could be Adepts. Could be Charge. Now going further in. And back at home, there's no Spore. And no Spore Crawlers. We have a couple of Queens getting in position that will help, but the Oracle's on the way. He does get scouted. Ooh, now he knows. And now he does know. Oracle has been seen. Erik, he has time to react. Spores are being thrown down. Yeah, so Erik is still looking for the tech. We can see it's going to be Oracle into Void Ray. Very interesting. The Void Ray follow-up tells us that MasTer might be looking to hide some tech. Looks like that may be the plan. As Erik is still droning. The Oracle is deflected. It is going to be an early Twilight Council out of MasTer. I mean, say early Twilight Council in, like, compared to everything else that's been going on. Relatively early. Relative to the third base timing. And this looks like Glaives. So my money here is going to be on Glaive Adepts. Otherwise, we have a massive gateway explosion, getting up to 5 gateways, 6 gates. Do we go for Glaives? Do we go for Charge? That's the other option here. Getting up to, oh my god, even more gateways, getting up to 7, and the answer is going to be Charge. Especially with this many gateways, we could not afford Mass Adept. So 7 gates, we're going for a Charge base all in. Gas here should only be for Charge for Zealot legs. I would assume, so something that's surprising me here, extra gas is being taken. I would assume that we would want to hit with +1, right? Make use of the Forge, get +1 and get Charge. But with extra gases being taken now, it does feel like we're working towards High Templar, like a Templar Archives into a couple of Archons, as you can morph them in after you morph in the High Templar. And it no longer feels like an all-in, just because we're taking gases. It's going to be hitting much later. So this is aggressive, but we'll be hitting a little bit later here. Lings, they check for saturation. 4th base on the way. Behind this, Erik is getting a safety Baneling Nest. Now, if he did not have a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren, I would be concerned, but he does have an answer to the Zealots. Not the cleanest response. It's still going to be a difficult hold here, but it can work. As you can see here, the Zealots are banking up. We're banking up those charge lots. +1 now has begun. And soon MasTer will pull the trigger. And if Erik doesn't have Banelings ready, then this can kill. This can just straight up kill Erik. So we're warping in even more Zealots. There's that Templar Archives for the Archons, for the High Templar. And here he comes. He gets spotted. Yeah, Erik, he does spot. Does confirm. Behind this, Banelings now morphing in. We need as many Banelings as possible. There we go. 8 Banelings on the way. We might need a little bit more than that. He ends up pushing forward. Charges are revealed. Ooh, catching up reinforcements. Banelings now done. Stasis Trap doesn't get triggered. And Banelings are rolling in. Oh, they're clumping. Somewhat. Ooh, decent connections. But there's still another group. Yeah, there's still another group getting into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. Again, we did need more Banelings here. We did need that little bit more. As also get 5 drone kills. Now they're going further into the main base. They camp in the production. They can catch the Hydra. They can catch the Hydra. Boys are being pulled. And Erik, he will defend against this, but it does come at a cost. So he lost 6 drones. He bled out a lot of lings and banelings. MasTeR going for another run by. Back at home, MasTeR does take an economic lead. He's on full 3-base saturation. I cannot say the same for Erik. Erik, he lost workers, lost drones. Still has running to do. Getting ready for the Zealot run by. Erik, he should have enough of a standing army to deal with this. Yeah, even without banelings, now he has Hydras. Does force a recall. Ooh, as one Zealot goes down. Just the one. MasTeR recalls back home, and now he's ready with his Mass Archon. Oh boy. The Archons are a little exposed though. They get surrounded. Okay. Gets one, gets two. And picks up one Archon. Not bad. Miscontrol there by MasTeR to be split up. It's a very nice pickup for Erik. So he pulls away. Zealot run by towards the natural. Main army towards the right hand side. Zealot getting into the mineral line once again, pushing in towards the main. Ooh, and Erik's being pulled apart. Yeah, it's being pulled apart here. Looks like the hatchery is forfeit. He cannot save the 4th. Baneling's trying to waddle in. Trying to. Oh, decent connections. Decent connections on the charge. That's not bad. And the hatchery is saved? Wait, what? Oh my god. It's on 11 HP. Barely survives. That should not have happened, but the hatchery does survive here. Erik, he's able to stabilize. Oh no! Yorku comes in. He wants it. The clutch transfuse keeps the hatchery alive. No shot. And with that, Erik, he now has momentum. He's got 4 base, I should say 3.5 base saturation. He's got his Ling main Hydra. Erik can start to push soon. MasTeR back at home is turtling up. Cannon, shield, batteries, MasTeR, he knows he has lost map control. He's just turtling up as best he can. Thankfully, Erik doesn't commit into an all-in. Erik throws down the Spire and Infestation Bit. We're getting ready for the mid to late game. We're teching up. Oh. Oracle goes down. Charge, let's do slip by. I'll be honest, I don't think Erik should be pushing into this. Storm is done. I mean, Erik doesn't know that. Now he does. Now he sees Little Templar, comes in from left hand side. Ooh, a brutal storm with the Ling Bane. Oh my god. Yeah, the storms are connecting. As Zealots are coming from behind, they get into the mineral line, and Erik is being pulled apart. Again, Erik, he could not break this position. No shot. So he couldn't break it across the map. He's losing workers. And MasTeR's getting in hand. He's getting in hand. His nobody guy control takes down the queens. 5 more drone kills. Slips into the main, getting another queen. Zealots are pretty good. So get 9 drone kills in total, and they get a full scout as well, confirming the hive, the spire, and the infestation pit. MasTeR knows. MasTeR, he knows, he's aware. Again, winding it back, when it comes to 10,000 feet, it is very difficult to break a turtling player on this map. We mentioned this before, and I guess we should now emphasize it here, but the bases are just really close together. You can see here, the natural, the 3rd base, the 4th base, it's all very centralized, so you can keep your army here in the center and then react and respond to any kind of area, to any angle of attack. So it's very easy to defend. And Erik, he does find out the hard way. Yeah, here comes a counterattack. MasTeR moving in. Losing one of the Archons. Does get sniped. Archon gets picked off. We have Mutas, which can't really help in the main fight. Another brutal storm. Oh, catching at the Mutas. He was crazy going into Muta from here. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, there is no blink, true. There are no blink stalkers. So Mutas they can harass, but they just went down. Trying to take up into lurker tech. Lurker range on the way. We're still a ways away from lurkers. We're a ways away, papi. And MasTeR pushing on left hand side. Yo, we got a 3 Muta harass. Let's go. Erik. Bienvenidos, Herlet. Bienvenidos, papi. Buenos días. Buenos días. Hope to see you in a future Convergence Cup LatAm tournament. Hope to see. Yeah, Storm does zone away. Again, drone's going to be going down. Erik, he cannot quite engage. There's just so many storms. There's still, what, 3 storms left? There's still at least 3. Oh, going into the storms. There we go. Massive storms on the Hydras. Going to be zoning away. At the same time, Zelsei busts into the middle line. 15 drones going down. Erik is being torn apart. Lurkers move in, and there is no detection. Oh, okay. No observer, no detection. Erik started stepping forward. So steps in. Nice focus firing. Gets 1, 2 Archons, a High Templar, and the Immortals as well. And does barely go Erik's way towards the end. Thanks to the Lurkers. We need detection. Still, okay, there we go. Observers are moving out. Observers are coming across the map. That hatchery survives once again. Refuses to die. As MasTeR, he just ignores the lurker. Oh my god. Just takes a bunch of free damage. Calm down. Observers, they finally arrive. Fleet beacons all the way for SkyToss. I don't think we need SkyToss to break through, but sure. I mean, now there are too many lurkers. Oh my god. Yeah, MasTeR trying to brute force the issue here. Immortal goes down. Taking so much damage. Yeah, MasTeR a little bit stubborn. Takes a bad fight into all the lurkers. But Erik's economy, I mean, that's really what tells the story here. Erik is down to 68 workers. That's 3 base saturation. He barely has an economy. Lurkers are a little bit more spread out now. And MasTeR can take up. Rotating across, we have 6 more lurkers on the way. And that lurker it's getting a bit out of hand. And Erik, he might be able to hold and survive and defend. I mean, hey, the same thing applies as we mentioned previously, how you can hold on to 4 bases quite nicely here. But it's about the follow-up. It's about the SkyToss. Oof. Yeah, lurkers, they do punish. Once again, lurker shots going up. MasTeR rotates, ensuring there's no backup expansion. Zelsei come in from behind. They have the mineral line. Oof, Jesus. Yeah, brutal move command. Yeah, brutal move command here. Zelsei dive on top of the expansion. Do they kill? Do they get the hatchery? Up? Not quite. Barely not. Ooh, 26 HP. Very low. Very close to going down. We have the transfuse. And MasTeR is being a little bit wasteful here, but it's fine. MasTeR is slowly building up his Tempest. Erik, he has no answer to that. He's going to mass Muta, and this has some potential. Oh no, the cloak. Yeah, cloak is activated. Mutas, they dive on the mothership. Mothership will go down. Still no blink, by the way. So Stalkers, they cannot keep up. And behind this, going to mass Muta. 6 more Mutas on the way. We're getting messy. And we do catch some key units here, but oh god, we're losing too many Mutas. Yeah, some hefty losses there for Erik. Have those defensive warpins. Erik bleeding out 10 Mutalisks. And lurkers are getting in position. Jesus, that's a very high amount of lurkers. We have how many? 19! Oh my god! MasTeR should not move into this. At least not with his Immortals. We need more Tempest. Erik, he's maxing out. He is slowly maxing out. The issue here still is that Erik doesn't really have the best answer for all these Tempest. The Mutas are doing surprisingly well for themselves, but it's also quite expensive. Oh my god. Erik, he does move out. Jesus. Erik breaks out. Ooh, Muta's getting caught. And again, what's the answer to all these Tempest? Lurkers are moving in. And they can be oppressive against the ground army, but what about the sky? As Immortals are going down. More Lurkers pushing in. Gets of the expansion. Takes down the Nexus. At the same time, Muta's a attempt to harass across the map. Hey, Erik, he gets a mineral line. Nexus goes down. 15 probes as well. This is nice damage. I'm still not convinced. How many Tempests do we have? 5. So it'd be 7. 7 Tempest. I mean, technically, we could try to go for like a Corruptor switch after this. I think that I would prefer. Oof. Yeah, so just chase down the Lurkers. Again, these Tempests should be able to get free damage. And Tempest shots going off. Okay, 1, 2, 3 Lurkers. And as all you mentioned, like, what is the answer here to these Tempest? We're going to try to brute force it with the Hydras. Okay. He's going for it. No High Templar. No Storm. Wait, what? Okay, no Storm to punish. Erik, he's making this work. Somehow. MasTeR down to 43 probes. MasTeR cannot max out. No shot. We lunge in. Gets a Tempest. Gets one. Yeah, 1 Tempest goes down. Lurkers a boxed in the army. Getting a 2nd Tempest. And MasTeR, he overextended. Yeah, he does overextend. Again, one too many times he pushed into all those Lurkers. Likewise, wasn't attentive with the High Templar. And did rely too heavily on those Mass Immortals. In the end, it hurt him. Never got into Blink. Never really switched into Mass Phoenix. Never got a 3rd Stargate. The Muta play was worth it. It was it was buying time. Force a weird reaction. S to Erik. A very messy game. Very messy. Wasn't clean whatsoever. Low economy for Erik the entire game. But he's doing it. Who needs spellcasters? Who needs Vipers? Who needs Infestors? I mean, apparently Erik, because he's making it up now Vipers. That does help, to be fair. Will make things a lot easier. But again, MasTeR, he was in control of this game. Like, he was up like 50 supply. He was up in bases, workers, economy, tech. But again, he had a really weird response to the mutas. And one too many times he pushed into Mass Lurker. And he committed into Mass Immortal. Like, a stronger switch into Skytoss would have benefited him so well. Referring to like a 3rd or 4th Stargate. Reacting harder to the Mass Muta with Mass Phoenix. Playing more defensive, taking more bases. But in the end, he was torn apart. Punished for being overly aggressive, and again, not really respecting the mutas. And not taken to the skies. Deductions, catching out 2 Tempest. At this point, Erik, he's done. At this point, Erik, he's weathered the storm. Now, I say that there's still a good amount of storms left over, and if the fight goes a little bit too poorly, then maybe MasTeR can recover. But he's heavily reliant on these storms. As Erik's looking for a way in. For a way in. Army gets punished. Here comes the abductions, getting 1, getting 2 Tempest. Oof. Lurkers are going to be going down, so the ground army can try to hold its own here, but GG. GG gets called. MasTeR, he has nothing left, and Erik, he will take a lead in the series 2-1. GG. Whew. Ay. GG, well played. Erik, he will take a lead. Again, MasTeR, he was in the driver's seat for the majority of this game. For the vast majority, MasTeR, he was looking dominant. He was containing his opponents, killing bases, killing workers, taking up, punishing Erik. But there was that first big push where Erik barely held on. He only had 3 lurkers, but remember, when it came to that big push, there was no observer. There was no detection. So MasTeR couldn't kill. He had the army to do so, but he had no detection to actually push into the lurkers. And by the time he did, we had built up to suddenly 9 lurkers and eventually 19 lurkers. We saw that MasTeR, as a reaction to this, he went into Mass Immortal, and he went for a very delayed switch into SkyToss. And even when he was making his Tempest, it was a very, very slow transition into Tempest. He was still producing more and more Immortals. He was still very, very ground oriented. So the 19 lurker count of Erik actually worked wonders because MasTeR, he had forced himself into a very robo heavy composition instead of a bigger commitment into SkyToss. So he went into Mass Immortal, committed to the ground against Mass Lurker. GG, well played. Of course, there was more that came into that. Of course, when it came to the Muta play, for example, which I had no faith in, but the Mutas, hey, they pay for themselves. They caused a distraction. They gave Erik time to build up his army. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into our next game. Going to be loading into White Rabbit. Oh boy. Erik, he's one game away from claiming the series. MasTeR has to win here and now to force the ace match. Here we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Brazilian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. By what does he stand for? He stands for endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. It is Erik. Going for the 12 pool. God damn it. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Here we go. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in. Erik, he does move out with his drone. Remember, he's going for the 12 pool. And he's sending out his drone to disrupt the wall here at the entrance to the natural. Ideally, to throw down that hatchery, to mess up the opener, to try to increase surface area on these buildings, to commit with his Link Flood. Let's go. Meanwhile, MasTeR moves in with the Probe Scout. Does move in. MasTeR, he will confirm that the hatchery is missing, so already a big reaction here. MasTeR, he's now aware that aggression is coming his way. Drone is coming in. And the hashbuck is upon us. And now MasTeR knows. I say that MasTeR, he's not aware of the pool timing, so that he's unfamiliar with. He does pull the boys. Zealot's on the way. This is better for Erik. Erik, he once lost mining time here, and mining time is being lost by MasTeR. Does go for the pylon block, but Erik, he's just flooding. Yeah, just flooding across the map. The initial Zealot will pop out. The Lings are almost here. But with all these boys, I don't really see that Zealot being surrounded. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close. There's a cancel. Lings, they threaten to surround. More reinforcements are on the way. Yeah, Lings, they threaten. Second Zealot will pop, and MasTeR's holding. And MasTeR, he will hold, he will defend. Erik is expanding back at home, he's droning. The game will continue. Now, with these reinforcements, Erik, he has potential to maybe find some damage here. He's at least keeping these probes busy. He's keeping them busy. Adept is now being chronoed. Erik, he has to get ready to defend. Spine Crawlers on the way. Queens are on the way. And MasTeR, he defends well. He defends well here. Now, he did lose mining time quite heavily here, but he still has a massive worker lead. Only 13 drones for Erik. Only 13. And the biggest issue here is that because of the 12 pool, link speed is heavily delayed. So here comes the Adepts, and the Adepts, they can wreak havoc. Adept moves out. Zealots, they stay back home. Do stay back. It's going to be up to Erik to maintain his defense, to hold on here against the Adept. Does Shade in. Shades into the main. Queen is out of position. Drone's going to be going down. How many? He gets one. He gets maybe two. Oh, just the one. Whew, okay. One drone goes down. That could have been a lot worse. So far, just catching up the one drone. MasTeR setting up back at home, going from Stargates into Oracle Harassed, and the game from here will continue. It's been a very messy and a very shaky start. I will still give the edge to MasTeR. I'm sure his tech is delayed, that is true, and his saturation is later as well, but Erik's drone count is just very low. And he has no third. Link speed is on the way. Erik, he pulls out of gas, not rushing into a lair. Still rushing in. Yeah. Settling in. We're settling in here as the Oracles. They move out to harass, they move out to scouts. So far, we do see Erik is still just droning. So just droning, he pulls back into gas, taking a second gas geyser for lair. This should be for Ling Hydra. We could see Muta play, for example, but Erik is still stumbling his way into the mid game. Meanwhile, MasTeR back at home is saturating and taking up in towards Blink and +1, a standard follow-up out of MasTeR. He is still delayed because of the opener, but the follow-up in the overall build is standard. As long as they get this round, not bad. No battery, no defensive battery, gets one, gets two Zelts. Nice catch here from Erik. Gets a probe. Doing what he can with what he has. So this is a nice moment. From here, Erik is getting his Evo chamber. Working towards +1. Lair is now on the way. Oh, and here comes the follow-up here. Remember, these are vanilla adepts. But they can trade very nicely against Ling Hydra or against Ling Queen. How many Zerglings do we have? Only 4. Oh, soon to be 10. That is not enough. Yeah, we need more Zerglings. Only 3 Queens. Spinecrawler will help somewhat. But he shades in. Yeah, he dives into the main base. The Queens are under fire as well. One Queen is going to be hunted down. Assuming the Oracle commits. Decent stasis. Yeah, stasis goes off. Queen goes down. Drones are exposed. Oh, this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Oh no. 4 drone kills. 4 drones go down. The Oracles, they get the hell out of there. I do feel like we could have gotten a little bit more damage, and you can see he does want those drones, but it's too late. Yeah, too late. The drones to go back. The Adepts are still holding their own. They're still alive. Finally, they go down. That's 7. 7 drone kills, 7 drones, all those links as well. Those 26 lings, 1 queen. Very nice trade from MasTeR. Likewise, he pokes in. We could have seen maybe 2-3 drones going down at the third, but does pull away. Doesn't risk it. And behind this, MasTeR has a comfortable lead. He's now got Blink, he now has +1, and he has 3 base saturation. So here comes a follow-up now with Blink Stalkers, and this is going to be a very, very difficult defense for Erik. It's basically a 1-2 punch, right? MasTeR cripples Erik early on with the Adepts, and now he's here to end it with the Blink Stalkers. And Erik just doesn't really have the economy to build up an army. Erik, he's got Lings. He has 28 Zerglings. That's what the Oracles are for. Speaking of, Oracles activated. chasing down the queen. Zoning away the Zerglings, and the hatchery is going to go down. It does catch the fourth. And with good enough blink control, these Stalkers should not go down. Even diving on the Hydras. Oh my god. He goes to the dive. Catching up more Hydras, catching up more Zerglings. The MasTeR does give chase. Ooh, a little bit messy here for MasTeR, bleeding out some Stalkers. Yeah, 3 full Stalkers going down. Very messy. Yeah, we're getting messy here. Oh, and Erik, he's going to be able to hold on. Erik holds. Again, we could have just killed the base. MasTeR could have just killed the expansion and wedged himself behind the mineral line, but he got greedy here. The hatchery survives. He tried to chase down the Hydras, but he got punished. In the end, MasTeR did get punished. So we have it back and forth. Erik is building up his Hydras. MasTeR still has the edge. Sling's a thread and a dive. MasTeR's moving out. And again, Erik's just posturing. Just posturing. This is just keeping MasTeR busy. It's not about taking the fight. Oof. But Erik's going to be chased down. Yeah, he's going to be chased down here. Ay. He didn't want to take this fight, Pap. You don't like this. Legs go down. Hydras as well. And MasTeR's looking to force the ace match. We're going to bring us all the way to game 5. As there is no standing army back at home, Erik, he's somewhat droning up to 67. We have a Spire on the way. That's ambitious. That's bold. I don't really see Erik surviving long enough to make use of the Spire, but he's got on the way. It's coming, Pat. It's coming. MasTeR breaks out across the map. Blinks on forward. Crazy blink, by the way. Blinks into the Zerglings, but takes out the expansion. And takes out the hatchery. Started stepping forward. Pushing into the bases. And they're going to try to make his final stand here. It does take care of all the Zerglings, or all the Zealots. We have more Zealots coming in, more Archons as well. And now there's no buffer. Now the Hydras are exposed. They're so vulnerable. Spinecrawler moves in from the start of the game. And with that, Erik, he has been broken. These Hydras are going down one after the other. MasTeR pushing further in. Catching up more Hydras. And again, Erik, he just can't build them up. He just cannot build them up. He cannot reach critical mass. Not like this. Yeah, boys are being pulled. It was a very messy start to the game, but in the end, MasTeR came out ahead. I'm referring to the 12 pull. Like, the 12 pull was not worth it. Erik had a very shaky follow-up. And that's going to be 24 drone kills. The final Hydra's going down. Duh. And now we're huffing a little bit of copium back. True. Lings are trickling in. Hydras are trickling in. I mean, this army does trade well against Stalkers. That is true. Erik, he will force a recall, but Erik, he is down to 36 drones. He's down to under 2 base saturation. Under a 2 base economy. Oh god. MasTeR panicking a little bit. But again, MasTeR just has to chill. Just chill, calm down, get his 4th base, tech up in towards Storm, Archons, High Templar, more Warpins. Just gotta calm down, papi. Even getting a 5th? Okay. Sure, why not? I do think that MasTeR's being a little bit overly aggressive here. He's gonna be careful. Yeah, Lee's able for this round. Oh no, the High Templar! He gets every single one. As I mentioned, MasTeR is being overly aggressive. He should not be here. Please, that was that 6 High Templar. Like that was an amazing fight for Erik, by the way, but it's still not enough. Again, MasTeR just has to calm down. Even this push, I'm not entirely convinced by. It's 2 Archons, a handful of Stalkers. It might still be enough anyway. Yeah, 3 Archons. Takes down top left. Catching the expansion. At the same time, they do come in for the counterattack. But this time they're Blink Stalkers. Yeah, the Stalkers, they have Blink. MasTeR turns around. Erik, he's stuck on 2 bases. Again, basically a 1 base economy. As he's running out of resources. No, we get stuck. That's fine. And again, the one thing that's keeping Erik in this game is that MasTer's been very impatient. It's been very, very impatient. You can argue that, I mean, that's also like the killer instinct. There we go. GG gets called, and MasTer ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 5. Again, we have that back and forth, winding it back. This all came down to the attempted 12 pull from Erik. He went for the 12 pull, went for the hatch block as well. And Erik, he, as the dust settled, he was still down in economy. Like, he did not do enough damage to justify the 12 pull, so he fell behind economically. And then we had the adept follow-up as well, where Erik was being punished for lacking that tech, for lacking that economy, for having the shaky opener. He was being punished time and time again by the adept aggression, and then by the follow-up stalker aggression as well, and the oracles as well. It just got out of hand, killing workers that Erik couldn't afford to lose, and knocking down bases that he couldn't afford to lose either. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into the ace match. We're going to be loading into game number 5, and we'll see how our play, or we'll see how the story ends. We'll see who's going to be our champion for Code for Giants Cup number 28. Will it be our Erik? Will it be MasTeR? Let's go. Let us go. As we are loading into the Old Republic. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Brazilian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. It's Erik. It is Erik. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. We have the Brazilian Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Let's go. And we have that back and forth. We have that ace match. Again, both Erik and MasTeR, they are the respective best players of their respective race in Brazil. Erik being the best Zerg player and MasTeR being the best Protoss player as well. So they are no strangers to each other when it comes to facing off in these finals. It's often Erik, MasTeR, and Inexorable who kind of fight for the top 2. I say that. I will say that Kamikaze has been improving as of late and has even been getting better results than Inexorable. I haven't seen those games though, so I can't really speak too much on Kamikaze's play outside of the fact that he has been improving, and we do take note of that. Meanwhile, once again, hatch block, this time no 12 pull. So this is much more sensible. There's a macro opener out of Erik. Drone moves out, threatens the hatchery. Back at home, he did expand. And there it is. There's that block. Now, this is a lot less committed, and this is allowing Erik to have a much cleaner early game here. It will disrupt the economy. He will force a reaction. We have a second gateway on the way. Boys are being pulled as well. You can see we have 4 probes off the mineral line. And eventually this will be cancelled. And what is this achieving? Well, this is forcing out a second gateway. It's delaying the cyber core, it's delaying the expansion, the nexus, and delaying the tech as well, delaying the Stargate. So everything's going to be delayed here for MasTeR, but MasTeR will have 2 zealots and 2 adepts, right? MasTeR, he will have an army to work with to move out for a counterattack very early on. Ooh, he's supplied. Yeah, that supply block shouldn't have happened, so a little bit delayed here, a little bit disrupted, but overall this counterattack is going to hit like a truck, and Erik has to be ready back at home with Lings, Queens, and maybe even a Spine Crawler. As a cancellation. Again, there's that second Zealot, and there's a first Adept, and we're waiting for one more Adept. So again, it's going to be 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts. Now, because of Erik's build of choice, his Queen count is very low. There's the Queen's able to just nap again. Queens are on the way. Later gas, later link speed. Second gas this early? Hello. Huh. Okay, there we go. Now we have the. I was very confused and perplexed by the second gas, guys. But there we go. It's cancelled. Lings are amassing for Erik. No spine crawler. Just gonna be a MasTeR Ling Queen defense. And Erik, he should minimize losses, but we'll see. Doesn't look like a lot, but this early on, double Adept, double Zealot can hit quite hard. And all these Lings mean that Erik isn't able to drone. Unable to drone up. And Lings, they engage. Adepts to make their way into the mineral line. He just shade in. Yeah, shades in. Oh, Lings are ready though. Lings are in position, catching up on Adept immediately. Despite that, 3 drones go down. Adept is going to be cornered. And in the end, is cleaned up. This could have been a lot worse. Only 3 drone kills. I mean, MasTeR does trade at least, and MasTeR does take a worker lead. But Erik holds. Behind this, link speed is on the way, and for the most part, Erik pulls out. He leaves 1 in gas. This will be, I would imagine, for eventually Lair Tech or for eventually Evo Chamber for +1. But no crazy commitments, and Erik is expanding. Even going for the hatchery in the main. Wait, what? I missed that. My apologies. He's getting a hatchery inside of the main, and there's no boy pool. Oh, yeah. No reaction by MasTeR. The hatchery finishes. We can start link production inside of the main. Right now we're waiting for Larva. Larva is amassing. And Erik, he isn't making use of this yet. There we go. We have 6 Lings on the way. And 6 Zerglings. So far, decent Sim City. Pylons, battery as well. Yep, Erik does cancel. I mean, he did force a battery, true. He did force extra buildings. As Erik behind this is just droning. He's just droning, just saturating. Erik should be expanding. Voidery is revealed. As Erik, he does make another pair of Lings. Hitting the natural. And what's a probe? He gets 1. Yeah, probe's going to be going down. Gets another. Ooh. This is getting out of hand here. Getting to 4, getting to 5 probes. Oh my god. Yeah, 5 probes go down. One of them was attempted expansion. Speaking of, a backup worker does move back in. And finally, MasTeR. Ooh, he still cannot expand. Erik, he wants that probe. He gets it. 6 probe kills. Yeah, more Lings, more Finn. Catching out. Ooh, another probe. 7 probes go down. Still no third expansion. Behind this, we're taking up Lairs on the way. Evo Chamber's on the way. Baneliness as well. Erik, he wants another probe. No, this time you cannot get it. Yeah, this time the battery's in position. That is still 7 workers going down and a massive delay on the expansion. Insane delay. And this hatchery was worth it. This hatchery in the end was worth it. Erik now has a massive worker lead for the first time in a couple of games, to be honest. Like on 10,000 feet on the previous map as well. Like there was just no strong economy for Erik, none whatsoever. White Rabbit, that's it. But Erik, he has it. Crazy. For the first time. Now working towards the main Hydra. Meanwhile, MasTeR is taking up in a standard direction, going into +1, a Blink, and a Storm. But again, MasTeR, his build overall and his tech is going to be disrupted. It's going to be delayed. As there's still no expansion. Oracle does hit the natural. Spire's on the way. We've seen a lot of Spire play out of Erik this series, and I want to say that we don't really need it here, but sure, it's it has potential. But at the same time, like, I have faith in just purely laying Hydra or laying Bane Hydra into Lurker attack. Here we go. Erik moves out. Hydra's just slithering across the map. They get spotted by the Observer. MasTeR knows. Bakanomi's getting ready. We have stasis traps, shield batteries, cannons are on the way as well. Storm, I believe, is done. No, my apologies. Storm has not started. Bay is on the way after the Temple Archives. This might be a mistake in the sense that MasTeR, hopefully he realizes that he does not have Storm. Erik rotates in. And this is just a distraction. Yeah, you can see Erik, he's banking. He's banking up 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. He's going to a mass muta switch. He's switching to mass muta. Now MasTeR is getting a safety Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix is on the way. He has Mass Blink Stalker as well. I mentioned earlier that mutas are nice and all, but I would say a little bit unnecessary. Instead of taking up into Lurkers, it's a big risk, a big gamble, it's a massive investment, and we'll see if it pays off. Side defense is being turned down. Yeah, MasTeR, he's ready for this. As they pick in, they will take down the cannon. Cannon goes down. Phoenix as they respond. Oof, we lose one. And mutas are deflected. And again, so far this has not been worth it. This was a massive investment, and you can see that Erik, he's doubling down. We got 6 more mutas on the way. Building on my mutas. Threatening a dive. Remember, there's no. Oh, sorry, Storm is now done. Storm was researched. Yeah, mass muta diving on the Phoenixes. Thankfully, there was no second Stargate. Like, there was no double Stargate Phoenix, so the Phoenix count is still quite low. It's still quite low. We have Corruptors now on the way. Okay, sure. Building up Corruptors. The goal there is to tank the Phoenixes. There are 4 Phoenixes so far. Again, a very low Phoenix count. So this mass muta might still overwhelm. He dives in. Gets one. Oof. Archon's now morphing in. Mutas, they push back forward. Once again, there just aren't enough mutas here. Yeah, we're bleeding out too much. So many mutas going to be going down. The mutas have not been worth it. Okay, center extension goes down. Bailey runway into the mineral line. 9 probes. And again, we need more mutas. Oh no. Yeah, he commits to the fight. So many mutas go down. The Mass Blink Stalker does overwhelm. And soon MasTeR can just counterattack. Soon he can just push. And I don't see Erik stopping him. Not like this. Not like this. Erik's best chance is going to be for the base trade. True. Lings, they hit the 3rd. Lings, they hit the 4th base. And we commit. We commit to the base trade. Now, Ling Muta is a fast army. That is true, but it's also very fragile. It's very fragile. And we're bleeding out a lot of Lings already. MasTeR commits to the base trade. Pushing into more bases. And remember, MasTeR can always recall. You can always recall back home. It doesn't even need to. We have a solid wall. Like, the natural cannot be broken. And Erik, he's racing back home. He's racing back. Oh. What are we catching? Oof. Massive Storm. Does run past. Gets 1, 2, 3. High Templar. Catching out a good chunk of army. Okay. Erik, he lured the army into the open. Okay, lured him out. But there's still so many Stalkers. There's a recall. Yeah, there's a recall back home. Again, it's so difficult to base trade a Protoss when they can recall like this. So recalls back, he was able to cripple the economy and take down bases. Now, what I will say is that he took down bases, but bottom right is untouched. Bottom right and center left. Checking MasTeR's vision, he didn't know. Like, he didn't scout. He's not aware of these two bases. So Erik can actually keep building up. He can actually replace his losses. He can replenish his army. Erik is still very much so in this, and MasTer's economy's in the gutter. He lost his 4th base, he lost his mineral line. In the end, Erik did come out ahead in the base trade. Came out ahead. Only because of how little MasTeR killed. And now we have how many meters? 25! Okay. 25 meters. Actually trading with the Stalkers and trading well. Takes out what? 5, 6, what? 10 meters? Sorry, 10 Stalkers. 17! 17 Stalkers go down. And the mass muta, he's doing it. GG gets called. Erik, he does pull it off. The mass mutas, they do snowball out of control, and Erik, he will claim the series 3-2, becoming the Coefficients Cup number 29 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, MasTer's main army was terrifying, and the base trade was the best call. It was the best call to make there for Erik. I will say that Erik was struggling. Erik was having a very hard time coming into the mid game. His muta play was not worth it. He was falling behind. Erik was dying, Pappy was dying, but we ended up forcing a base trade, and that was the best chance that Erik had to win that game. That was his best chance. As we saw, Erik, he could not actually break the natural though. Erik, he killed the 4th, he killed the 3rd, but he could not break the natural. You could argue that MasTer didn't have to recall there. MasTer, he knocked down 1 expansion, he could have kept going. Like, Erik could not fight the main army of MasTer. Couldn't do it. So MasTer, he knocked down 1 expansion, and then he recalled. We could have kept going, but one of the reasons why he had to recall, if you remember, was that MasTer was overconfident and he overextended. I'm referring to his defensive army. Remember, he had his defensive army with cannons and shield barriers at the natural, but he got lured out into the open, right? Erik turned back around, and then MasTer chased him out onto the map. Then he got surrounded. That's when he lost his High Templar. He lost 3 High Templar, he lost his Zealots, he lost a bunch of Stalkers, and then that's when MasTer was forced to recall to have that defense happen, and that means Erik got away with the economy. He got away with an economy, had 2 full expansions, mining freely. GG. GG, well played. Not an easy game, not an easy series, very close, very clutch, very intense, but congratulations to Erik for becoming our champion. GG, well played. Never a dull moment with Erik, never a dull moment. Shaking my head. But very chaotic, very intense. With that, GG well played. With that, Erik is going to be our Coefficients Cup champion. But up next, we're going to be jumping into a different tournament, also Coefficients Cup. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Cosmos. Cosmos, he is the main caster of Coefficients Cup, and he does organize the event. I should emphasize that as well. But he is like the Brazilian caster in StarCraft. Este Cosmos does a lot for the scene, does a lot for StarCraft. And up next, we're going to be jumping into Coefficients Cup LatAm, the Latino America, Pappy. True. We're going to be cutting to a short break. We need a moment to set up, and when we come back, we will have our next matches. It is going to be Coefficients Cup LatAm number 6. We're going to be opening up the tournament for the entirety of Latino America, and that means we're going to be featuring players like Tavito and players like Juanito as well. Este special, este Tavo. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the COVID Giants Cup. COVID Giants Cup at LatAm number 6. This is a bi-weekly event, bi-weekly tournament here for Latin American players. We just wrapped up with COVID Giants Cup proper, which is only for the Brazilian scene, but now we're here with the LatAm edition for players from Latino America. Let's go. Let us go. Again, we do have our ZVT ahead of us here. We're jumping into the semifinals. It's going to be a ZVT between Erik and SpeCial. We also have a TVP between MasTeR and Davo. Let's go. Up first, we have our best of 3. We're jumping on in. Erik, he just took down MasTeR in a very close, very clutch. A best of 5, of course, but now he jumps into the ring with Juanito instead. Different matchup, different approach. Now, when it comes to ZVT, I will say that ZVT is traditionally, historically, Erik's worst matchup. This is the matchup where he does struggle the most. It's the matchup where you do have a little bit less kind of, I would say, freedom or room to kind of like express yourself and branch out a little bit. I'm curious to see how our players do open up. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Mexican Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing himself. It is SpeCial. Speaking of, shout out to Cosmos for running, organizing, and casting the event in Brazilian, Portuguese, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the let's go. we have the Brazilian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. Erik. Yeah. Here we go. We're jumping into our fresh series, our fresh best of 3. Game 1 is here on Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps of the map pool, but hold off on that because SpeCial does open up with the low ground wall off. Now, if we were casting any other Terran player, Clem, Bjorn, Kjor, Maru, we would assume 2 Rax Reaper, but SpeCial, he is fond of going for a Rax into Factory into Expand. SpeCial does have his own quirky builds that he does like to embrace and enjoy, so we're leaning towards a faster Factory, a faster wall off, and a bit of a different kind of start. You can already see no second racks. No second racks. Gases are on the way. This is for a more aggressive start. And there's a give and take as well. We can get into it. For now, Erik does go hatch gas pool, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Oh, the kangaroos. True. Ah, there it is. Again, shout out to Cosmos, shout out to Code for Giants for sponsoring the event. Like for COVID Giants Cup to be a thing. But yes, he is the kangaroo. True. There's that Reaper opener, and again, we're expecting said Factory follow-up. As the SCV moves down, Factory is on the way. Now, a regular build that goes Rax into Factory would typically be on the high ground, and it would mean that you'd have to get a high ground CC as well because you would have no wall of defense against any kind of expansion. This allows you to have a much more aggressive tech-heavy start with a faster Factory with a delayed command center, but on location because the wall off is here on the low ground. So with that, you're able to wall off early on, able to defend your CC behind it, and open up in a much more aggressive fashion. The downside of this build, of course, is your CC is delayed, right? It's going to be a later expansion, a later economy in favor of earlier tech. Erik does scout, Erik does confirm. Behind this, we do have Erik going for lair. For Jesus, that is a very fast lair, skipping link speed. Yeah, no link speed, going for, what was that, like a 220-ish lair timing? Jesus. So very early lair into gases. This does look like 2-base meta, but if we're going to 2-base meta here, I feel like SpeCial will punish. Remember, with the earlier Factory, that means earlier Hellions, earlier Starport as well. Everything is earlier, aggression is favored, and Erik is being greedy. Erik is being so greedy. Link speed is on the way. Again, more gases are being mined. Reapers, they bust into the main, and they've yet to scout. And now they do. Yeah, picking up 1, 2, 3 Zerglings, diving into the main base, confirming everything. The gases, the lair as well. He sees all, he knows all, and drones are going down. Critical damage. Getting 1, 2, 3 drone kills, and this is too much. Yeah, there's already too much. Already getting out of hand. As Hellion does hit the natural. Again, Queens are out of position. It is attempted 2-base meta, but it's such a messy way to get there. Like, it's just such a rough early game. Oh, the Hellions. Yeah, brutal Hellion position at the same time leads the counterattack. Marines at home to defend. Cyclones on the way, Medevacs on the way. Drop plays on the horizon here for SpeCial. It's on the way. We're just rallying across, and it's going to be very, very difficult defense. Erik is droning. I mean, he has to do everything right now. He has to drone, he has to make army, he has to make a defense. He's just spent so much money on the lair and on the gases and on the spire, it just wasn't worth it. It was not worth it. As SpeCial's overwhelming, catching out the queen. Oh no! That was the only queen, by the way. That was the only queen. There's no other queens here in any of the bases. Bust into the mineral line. Lings are trying to engage. Oh, nice round. Surrounds the Marines. Oh, the pig on micro there. Yeah, very nice micro. Very nice control out of SpeCial. Saves the Marines. And again, Erik, he can't afford to even make mutas here. That's back at home. SpeCial taking up into his own 3-1-1. Stim is on the way. Bio's building up. Erik SpeCial just enjoying himself back at home. We have 5 mutalisks in production. And this hatchery should go down. Oh no, the cyclone! Ooh. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there by SpeCial. Did take a lot of hits, a lot of damage there on that cyclone. The hatchery will still go down. We go down to the cyclone, but GG gets called. GG gets called. Too much damage, and SpeCial takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a cheeky build here by Erik, trying to go into 2-base muta as quickly as possible. Again, that was what? That was a 220, if not even earlier lair timing. Insanely fast lair by Erik. But as you saw, we saw that SpeCial had gone for a more aggressive build, and to be fair, Erik saw it as well. That's what's a little bit perplexing and what's a little bit crazy about Erik, is that he saw the earlier factory. He saw the faster aggression, but despite that, he still cut corners and went for a hyper greedy build. It was punished for it. So it was a big risk there by Erik. I will say it was it was a bold move to go for because he knew how aggressive SpeCial was going to be. It was an overconfident maneuver, and in the end was punished for it. GG. GG, well played. With that, SpeCial, let's take a lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Going to be loading into Taito Citadel. Let's go. Okay, Erik, we gotta calm down, Pappy. We gotta calm down. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Taito Citadel, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Mexican Terran. It is SpeCial. Juanito, Juanito. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player, the Brazilian Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is Erik. Here we go. Whew. And once again, we saw chaotic builds from both players. To be fair, no one was playing standard. No one was standard, no one was orthodox. And once again, we're expecting SpeCial to go for the same build. Rax into factory, into a later expansion, into a faster Hellion, faster Cyclone, faster aggression is what we're expecting here by SpeCial. And we need Erik to respect it. We need to respect this opener. We need to respect the build. We need to calm down and not rush into a 220 lair timing. Which was insane, by the way. But we'll see. Yeah, double gas on the way. Once again, faster factory. Same build. Same opener, 2 games in a row for SpeCial. We'll see how Erik deviates. So far, hatch, gas, pull, standard opener just like last game. It's all about how we spend the gas though. Last game was a fast lair. This time we're expecting link speed and pull out of gas. We'll see. We shall see. When it comes to this build, SpeCial is literally the only player that does this. We have seen 2x Reaper, of course, did kind of hit the meta, hit the mainstream. We have seen some players incorporate the future build, which is 2x Marine instead of 2x Reaper, and you go for a very heavy Marine count early on and you forego scouting. But specifically Rax into factory, I think the only player that we've seen do this is Gumiho. I think he has played around with this a little bit. But just Gumiho and SpeCial. As Juanito does move out. Factory's on the way. Overlord will confirm the same build once again, and this time early Roach Rush. Okay, now I do think that this has potential for a little bit more success. Winding it back though, the build here is crazy. Okay, so what did Erik do? Erik, before even talking about the hatchery here, the Roach Warren, as the Reaper gets in, oh, doesn't get into behind the mineral line, but Erik, he skipped his queen. There is no second queen. We got a faster third hatchery. So this is very greedy. It's very, very greedy here. With one less queen, that means that early game defense is more difficult for Erik, and you can see one Zergling going down. There should be 2 queens at the moment. There's only 1. We have extra larva. This feels like we're going for an all-in. We have link speed on the way. We're staying in gas. Of course, roach production is underway, and this can work because the build of choice is SpeCial is going for. But again, the faster factory means faster tank production and faster cyclones. Yeah, I'm not fond of this. Reapers, they get into the main, they scout, they confirm the build, they confirm the Roach Rush. SpeCial, he's worthy all in. Does catch one of the Reapers. Does catch both, not bad. Both Reapers go down. But the problem here is that as we're going for the Roach all in, we have Cyclones already in production. Like, we already have a would-be standing army, and SpeCial, he scouted, he knows. He's fully aware. Also confirms lack of drones. Lack of drones, lack of saturation. Kills 1. Almost 2. The all-in is coming. Even cancels the bunker. Oh my god. It's a very confident play here by SpeCial. I would say the bunker would be necessary to hold and survive, especially because your production's exposed. So no bunker is very confident. The Ravager is arriving. Tank is on the way. If the tank arrives, I mean, that's game. That's a hold. Just have to buy time. Oh, the Ravager, no! The Ravager is going to go down. Massive pickup, no vials. And yeah, he doesn't need a bunker. He doesn't need a bunker if there are no Ravagers, and one Ravager going down is brutal. Without the wall is solid. Tech Lab goes down. That will not stop the tank. The tank will still arrive. Yeah, the tank is out. We'll siege. Biles will help, but there's only 2 Ravagers. Only 2. Nice focus firing as well. Yeah, tank shots going off. A Ravager falls. There's only 1 Ravager left, and with that, there are 0 Ravagers remaining. SpeCial, he defends. He's on 2 bases. Has a massive economy in comparison. We only have 19 drones for Erik, and now he starts to drone. Now he starts droning up very late. The all-in has failed, and SpeCial's counter-attacking. This is risky. This is a big risk from SpeCial. For all he knows, it could be more Ling Roach just gearing up back at home and ready to commit. So very risky maneuver here from SpeCial, but it will pay off. Will pay off in the end. As things, they come in for the surround. I'll pick up on the tank. And with that, Lings, they're being cleaned up as we speak. Again, very nice control here. Saves the Hellion. Saves the Cyclone. SpeCial pulls away. And SpeCial doesn't kill, but he trades well. And oh, we have a Liberator. Yeah, Liberation gets across the map. 6 drone kills already. 7. 8. 8 drones going down. Drop back into the mineral line. Crippling the economy. And SpeCial doesn't kill, but he does cripple. Does cripple Erik. Scan confirming that there's no tech, there's no lair, there's no gases. Queen count is very low. There's only 1 queen. Yeah, only 1 queen. More mining is being denied. And again, the early all-in just did not pay off. Was already brutal losing that first Ravager. But even then, because the build is SpeCial, like, he already had a standing army early on. He already had the factory up and running. SpeCial draws back in, catching out more drones. Remember, there's no queens, so just free damage. We just sit here with the medevac. Queen now rotating over. And from here, SpeCial, he can get a third CC and just macro up from here, or just push. Just push on 2 bases, get up to like 5 Raxes. Currently he's on 4. Decent Rax counts. So 4 Raxes, 2 base saturation. He's built up his army. When he moves out, he'll hit with Stim. Can hit with Stim. And here comes the main push. So it's going to be a 4x 2 base all in. We have Stim, or we have combat shields. +1 is going to finish up in the middle of the fight. Sorry, 5 racks. Oh, where's the 5th? Wait, am I blind? Oh, there's 3. That makes more sense. So 2 base 5 racks all in. There's the 5th racks here. SpeCial commits. And what do we have to defend? We have 4 Ravagers. 4 Ravagers. We have 3 Roaches. And we have a Dream Pappy. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Roaches falling. Boys are being pulled. And with that, SpeCial, he overwhelms. He overwhelms. He breaks on through. GG gets called. And SpeCial will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, I would say SpeCial's style here kind of countering Erik. I say style because Erik was often scouting and still reacting, still committing to early aggression. This build that SpeCial went for, both in game 1 and game 2, the early racks in the factory, does leave you very safe against early all-ins. Against early all-ins and early aggression, early shenanigans, and that's exactly what Erik went for. Game 1, Erik went for 2 base Muta, very fast 2 base Muta, and game 2 went for a Ling Roach all-in. Against both builds, we saw that because of the opener of SpeCial, he had the earlier factory, earlier starport, he had earlier units to defend or earlier units to punish and counterattack as well. Once again, the downside of this build that SpeCial was going for is that he has a worse economy because his CC is delayed, and also he's more vulnerable against a 2 base all-in because his production's at the low ground, at the natural. Sorry, 2, 3 base all-ins even, but we never really saw that come into play. We never really got to see that punish because Erik himself didn't have a strong economy and he never built up into the wards at like later aggression. GG. GG, well played. With that, SpeCial has claimed the series, and with that, we're going to be jumping into our next semis. SpeCial will advance on to the grand finals. Meanwhile, we have MasTeR and Tabito facing off in a Terran versus Protoss in the other semifinals. Let's go. Let us go. As it's been a long time since I casted Tavo. He's a good dear friend. Good dear friend. We have a lot of love for Tabito. A lot of love. Nowadays, of course, I think he graduated, right? I think he finished his studies at this point. If you remember, he almost became un patito back in the day, but here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the Peruvian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing New Alliance. It is Tavo. Tabito. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Here we go. But again, there's a lot of history with Tavo. If you remember, Tavo, he first kind of hits the pro scene back in 2021, like around 2021 era of StarCraft. Tavo, he hit GM. He at the time joined Exxon. He joined Exxon alongside Neo. It was Tabito and Neo who had just joined Exxon at the time. Before that, they were on a team together as well. I can't quite recall what they were on before Exxon, but they were together. And they were competing, they were playing very diligently when it comes to online tournaments. And if you remember, that was at the time that we, the CranKy Ducklings, were forming our own Latin American roster. We had signed Oreo and Starduck from Oceania. We had signed, I think at the time we already had Miguelito as well, but we were like expanding into the Latin American region, the Latin American scene, and we had picked up Ryu, the Peruvian Zerg player, and Erik, the Brazilian Terran, who you just saw. Like Erik and Ryu, they joined the CranKy Ducklings, and we had enough funds for one more player. only one. And at the time, we had Los Hermanos Terran, if you will, with Tavo and Neo. They're both Terran players, both really good friends. They were playing together all the time, playing together, practicing together, but we only had enough for one. Only had enough room for one, and in the end we settled on Neo. Like Neo, he was a little bit closer with us. He was playing and interacting with the Ducklings a lot more than Tavo, so we did go with Neo, and not quite with Tabito. But almost. It's almost a Duckling at one point. That was back when we were the official B stream for a bunch of ESL events, so we were actually earning more funds, so we'd actually just afford to like have like salaries for players. So we were signing players. We had Erik, we had Ryu, and we had Neo, and Vindicta eventually as well. Almost Tabito. Despite that, still a good friend. Did retire for some time, was focusing on his studies. Neo as well. Neo, he became a lawyer. Erik, Tabito, I can't quite recall what he was studying at the time. Part of me wants to say like something in the medical field, because that's all the Chilean players working. We're all in there. Tavo is a reminder he was staying in Chile at the time. Or was it Neo that was staying in Chile? It all blends together. Here we go. Here we go. But now we're going to be settling in. It is going to be our initial opener of choice. We have, okay, this is going to be our early Twilight Council into Blink. We have extra gateways on the way. It's going to be 3-gate Blink at a MasTeR. So far, safe play. We're assuming that we're going to throw down a Robo and a third expansion, but eyes are on MasTeR. Meanwhile, Tabito does go for his own standard opener into a 1/1/1 into Mind Drop. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Settling in. But back then there were a lot of Latin American tournaments, which is why we ourselves were like ingrained in Latino America, and that's also why we had our Latin American roster as well. Back during the COVID era. There we go. Now MasTer's claim is third, so again, just safe build at a MasTeR. 3-gate Blink takes the expansion. Likewise, we do have Tavo moving out with his own Mind Drop, back at home setting up and going for his own Bio Tank follow-up. I will say that the SimCity here does leave much to be desired when it comes to defending against any kind of Blink Stalker aggression. MasTeR, he just scattered with the hallucination and he does see the main, but at this point MasTer's focusing on his economy. Just taking up from here. Mind Drop is on its way. Does hit the natural. MasTeR, he has time to respond as the Medevac is zoned back. Again, spotted by the pylon. I knew I forgot something. Hold on. There we go. The corner logo. MasTeR setting up back at home, going for his gateway follow-up into mass charge, into delayed splash damage. MasTeR, he's going to have the advantage if Tabito moves into him. So Tavo so far is building up, we're waiting for his stim, combat shields +1. The singular eBay here might be a sign of aggression. I know that there are times where all-ins do just incorporate singular eBays, but we don't have a we don't have a fourth and fifth racks. So behind this, we can still get a third CC. Tavo can still expand, still build up. MasTeR moves out. He will engage ahead of time, spotting the army. We'll attempt to slow this down. But do we commit? My eyes are on the SCVs. As he's pushing. Oh! Camera pans back, and there it is, third CC. Okay, he's expanding. No all-in, no commitment. Will claim his own third. For now, just applying pressure, forcing a reaction. And Tavo has to be very careful here. He has to be very careful not to be caught out. He's got a heavy mine count. Interesting. Only one tank. Does siege. Ooh, does siege up, catching out a stalker. Not bad. And MasTeR pulls away. Again, he's forced a reaction. He got a couple of stalker kills. He backs off, races back home, and defends his third. If he stuck around, he would just be surrounded. He would be swallowed up. So Tavo is racing back home. At least trying to. He's out of marine. Oh, mine shot still buy some time. Tavo holds. Tavo, he does hold on, does make it home in time. From here, he can now claim his third base. Likewise, MasTeR should be getting his fourth. Storm is almost done. Jesus. Storm is finishing up. Again, does try to set up. Davido's still committing here across the map. He's got a massive minefield that he's built up. That's a lot of widow mines. It's a lot of mines, but he has to be careful. He has to respect those storms. MasTer's fourth base, I would say, is a little bit late. Bit of a late fourth. Later, fourth expansion. MasTeR gets across. And while he distracts, he's moving in. He's moving into the natural. Tavo's in position. Not bad. Davito's keeping up. We have Ghost now amassing up and on the way. Vikings just help deal with prisms. And all this will come down to the storms and to the mine shots. Easy connection. One tank goes down. Storming these zones. That's a lot of storms here with the main army. Jesus. That's a lot of storm. Ghost coming in. EP. Massive EPs. Yeah, EPs connect. High Templar going down. Not bad. Getting 1, 2. Do we keep chasing? 3. Yeah, 3 High Templar go down. 4. Getting all 5. Massive pickups here. Keep going, Tavo. Keep going. Zealots drop into the natural. Tavo, he commits. Ooh, he's losing a lot of SCVs. He's all in. He's being forced to commit here because look at this. This is going to be 9, 10, 11, 12. We're getting up to what? The entire mineral line is going to go down. It's only one marine. Yeah, this entire mineral line is going to fall. Messy reaction here by Tavito. He doesn't notice. He doesn't notice. He's going to lose everything. 18 SCV kills. That is critical damage. Now he has to run into storms. He has to move into it. What else can he do? He's crippled. We have 82 probes here from MasTeR. Mine shot goes off. Nice catch on the High Templar. Army sims in. Oh, takes a massive storm to the face. And the storms are crazy. And MasTeR double expands. Double expands getting a 5th as well. Claiming his 5th expansion. And Tavo's running out of steam. He's running out of steam, running out of army. He has to get the hell out of here. He lost all his widow mines. And remember, he lost his economy. It was that one Zealot run by. That one Zealot run by just crippled Tavo. Outside of that, he was looking good. Remember, he caught 5 Templar. Like, he had a massive EMP, he got 5 High Templar. But he was punished. He didn't respect the Zealots, man. Speaking of, more Zealots into the natural once again. EMP goes off on the High Templar. Nice EMP. Oof. Once again, EMP catching up 3 more Templar. Storm does land. Zealots do hit the natural. Warpin will finish. Yeah, the Warpin finishes. Zealots catch reinforcements. Main army's pushing in. And MasTeR does move in and drop into the main base, catching up more SCVs. Catching up more workers. That's 11 SCV kills. Davo, we gotta go. Okay. No more High Templar, but now they're Colossus. Oh no! Yeah, now Colossus have arrived. EMPs are solid, but there are no Vikings. Didn't have the room, didn't have the money for it. And now Davo's being chased down. It's being chased down. We have this back and forth, of course, but the issue here is that Davo has a low economy. The warpins continue. The prison was not dealt with. It was not dealt with. And MasTeR's going for the kill. Yeah, he's moving in for the kill here. Nice mind connections. MasTeR is missing zealots. Colossus does go down. Nice snipe out of Davo. Again, when it comes to the main fights, even here EMPing the Archons, he's fighting his heart out. He's even, I would say, out controlling MasTeR when it comes to the main fights. But it's the harassment, it's the economy that has been crippled time and time again. And this has been the issue. Just non-stop SCV kills. Davo's lost 37 SCV so far. Losing even more, being forced back home. Mineral line is exposed. Dust him in. Colossus overextend. Gets one. Gets maybe in two more Colossus. Again, like, this is a good fight, but it doesn't matter. It's not good enough, Backy. GG gets called. GG gets called, and MasTeR, he'll take game number 1. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. MasTeR will take a lead in the series. Feel Zealot run-bys, man. Zealot run-bys, Zealot counterattacks, War Prism harass as well. Non-stop aggression did mean that Davo, he was just being pulled apart. He was being crippled economically, even though I would argue that Davo had better fights. He had some really nice EMPs, some really nice engagements, very nice stims. We saw that MasTeR was overextending at times with the High Templar and with the Colossus. We had some nice minefield setups as well. Again, Davo, who was fighting well, but the economy, right? The economy was left by the wayside, and he had a hard time keeping up his attention when it comes to run-bys and counterattacks, and likewise when it came to his main base defense, it was lacking. GG, well played. With that, MasTeR takes a lead, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet. And again, we'll see if we can tighten things up. And force the ace match. Let's go. Zealots are pretty good. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Peruvian Terran representing. This is not correct. Representing Team New Alliance. It is Davo. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. That's the Hellfire logo. It's on the wrong player, Pappy. It's on the wrong player. But here we go. Here we go. We're going to be jumping into game number 2, and MasTeR does have that 1-0 lead, and we'll see if Davito can bring it back. I should also mention as well, what we saw in the last game was a good example as to why Terran players don't push in the mid game of TVP. It's very, very common if you watch players like Björn, Cure. I think Björn is a bad example, actually. If you watch players like Cure, sometimes Björn, Clem, Maru, if they get forced into the mid game of TVP, very often, even if they take a good fight, they will stay home. They will stay at home and turtle up on 3 bases and then turtle up on 4 bases. The reasoning for this is because if they push, it can be very difficult to deal with Zealots and counterattacks. As you saw in the last game, even players like Clem, like Maru, like Cure struggle when it comes to trying to defend against those run-bys, which is why they don't push, they don't attack, they turtle up at home until they max. So that kind of like deters and deflects and shuts down any attempted aggression, any attempted harassment, and they build up into a heavy Ghost Liberator composition, and then they start to push. That's typically if they get forced into the mid game. Before that, they can be active and aggressive when it comes to like 2-base play and early all-ins. But very often, like the mid game of TVP, they slow things down, they turtle up. As even the top players struggle against that kind of harassment. I said that Björn is a bad example of that because Björn, he is like Davito, where Björn, he wants to be active, he wants to be aggressive, and that often kills him. Like that. There's a lot of examples of Björn wanting to be active on the map and taking these good fights and taking these engagements, and then also dying to counterattacks and run-bys. Björn just wants to be in your face, though. Just wants to be in the face. Don't blame him. there we go. For now, it is going to be an economic opener. Ranks expand. Single gas starts out of Tavito, and back at home, MasTeR is chilling as well. Going for his own gate expand. From here, we're taking up. We should be seeing a Twilight Council into Blink. Welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet has a very short rush distance by ground, and more than anything, this means that if a fight goes awry, you can push and commit across the map. You can push, you can commit. I will say that when it comes to defensive play, it can be very difficult to break a 4-basing player. Your natural, your third, your fourth base are all very centralized and very easy to defend. That's why the caveats of aggression being favored on this map does rely on taking a good fight first. Like, if you can win a fight on your side of the map or in the center of the map, the counterattack that you have available to you hits so quickly. It's so quickly. So you can just snowball a win, snowball a fight into a win. Now MasTeR does move out. Will confirm the mine drop. Does confirm. Behind this, Blink is on the way. Throwing down gateways, building up into Blink. Twilight Council is not done. Safety robo as well. Just very safe play here by MasTeR as he expands. Nothing crazy. See ramen in the chat. Go David. Oh, David. True. Now he still streams every now and then, but he's very inconsistent from my understanding. He streams every now and then. Actually, I want to quickly check here. What team was he on before Exxon? He was on Reaper, true. Oh my god, the memories are flooding back. He was on Reaper and New Angels before that. Rebirth, those are the days. For those who remember Rebirth Esports, they were a Chilean esports team, and they were organizing a bunch of events and hosting some big Chilean tournaments. If you remember, that was like arguably one of the biggest tournaments in StarCraft history. Rebirth Esports had like 300 signups. It was crazy, like the Rebirth tournament, and it was all from Chile, by the way. Like that was what was crazier, just purely Chilean players. 300 signups. If you're curious as to why that was the case, it's because there are some really big and really popular Chilean content creators. I say content creators because they do a little bit of casting. I'm talking about Bobla. He does a little bit of casting, but he mainly does like StarCraft 2 content. I guess kind of like Winter. Like imagine like Winter, but like Chilean. Where like he makes like content with like, you know, StarCraft mods or like custom campaigns, stuff like that. And he promoted the event heavily. So he got a bunch of his viewers and fans to also compete. All from Chile. Anyway, we're pushing. Same as last game. We're hitting with Stim, Combat Shields +1. This is the same timing, the same push from Tavo 2 games in a row. Behind this, going for a third TC, not all in. And we can see MasTeR slowing him down. It does engage to slow him down. We see Tavo trying to rotate over towards the left-hand side. Making his way across the map. MasTeR does have a spotter unit. Tavo does commit. Yeah, Maisha's gonna be going up. No major connections. Delta get on top of the army. Ooh, and Tavo's getting caught. Yeah, he's getting caught out. Decent line connections. That's a lot of Marines falling. And this push is ending. There's not enough left over. Oh, looks like there was a bit of latency. Hopefully everything's okay. A little latency here. Davo pulls away. MasTeR, he's gotten away with now Colossus. Yeah, Colossus have arrived. There's no good answer to that, by the way. There's no good answer. Yeah, swipes are popping off. Davo, he has to race back home. And MasTeR, he gets away with his third. His third is fully operational. Now we can expand, get a fourth base. Likewise, bullying back the army. And MasTeR does know Rix, and he pulls back. So he takes the fight, pulls away, preserves his Colossus. So meanwhile, we can see that Davo is now switching into Vikings. This is a different variation out of MasTeR from last game. Last game, he went into earlier Storm. This time, earlier Colossus. Davo's taking the triangular third? Okay. Bold move. Going for the triangular third base. This is a little more open, a little more exposed, especially once these tumors get knocked down. I mean, they already have. They've already expired. As MasTeR does threaten at the same time, we do have a Zealot run by being set up. MasTeR does rotate. Gets into the mineral line. 3 ACVs. And catching out workers. Davo is out of position. He reacts. Thankfully, no major damage. But we're still killing more SCVs. That's 6 SCV kills. MasTeR getting a second robo. Building up into more Colossus. Eventually into Disruptors. Speaking of, here they come. Disruptors are on the way. Disruptors are coming. MasTeR dipping into the main. Dropping into the mineral line. Oh, we'll lose the prism this time. Okay. I mean, that's the advantage of having all these Vikings, of reacting to all the Colossus. Much more anti-air. Despite that, that's still 8 SCVs. Oof. Yeah, still 8 workers. MasTeR, he threatens a dive, expanding with his army. We're just right next to each other. we're touching tips, papi. Oh my god. Our bases are on the same screen. And here come the Disruptors. They're coming. So we'll come down to the Novas. Come down to the connections. I'll say the Viking count is quite healthy. So healthy Viking count against a Colossus. We have an okay siege line here. Again, covering mainly the entrance towards the natural. The third is still open. And really all MasTeR has to do is just engage and get into the mineral line. If he can cripple the economy, that's all he wants. Just cripple the economy. Maestro goes off. Zealot look to peel up into the mineral line. Doesn't quite go for it. Never goes off. Ooh, does connect. Yeah, never connects. At the same time, Zealot attempt to run by. 5 SCV kills in total. 5 SCVs. Army moves in. Yeah, 11 workers going down. Does force live. This is all that we need. This is all that MasTeR needs. Deny mining at the third. Deny mining. As MasTeR is maxed. Never goes off once again. No major connection this time, but the CC is getting low. Yeah, the CC is getting very low. He commits in. Nova's ace turned away. And he's willing to trade. Yeah, he's willing to trade here. Once again, decent connections. Disruptors, they pull back. Zealots, they break through the mineral line. And MasTeR cannot kill, but he does cripple. 13 SCVs. 13 worker kills. Disruptors, they rally in. Oh, be careful. And more Zealot Warpins. We're holding on to 4 Disruptors. GG gets called. Davo, he is broken. And MasTeR, he will claim the series 2-0. Advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played, MasTeR. He will claim the series, winding it back here again. Davo, he had a very aggressive start, but he got punished in the center of the map. He got punished early on, and even though he was able to catch the War Prism, we still struggled against his Zealot run-bys. They still got damage done, 8, 9 SCVs at a time. On top of that, we saw a very bold third base taken. I'm not too fond of it. David, though, he took the triangular third, which is a lot more open, a lot more exposed, much more difficult to defend. Much more difficult. As you saw, even though David, he was able to like hold his ground, he was holding ground further behind the third base. Basically, whenever whenever he was pushing in, he was killing like 4, 5, 6 SCVs, right? Because of the range of the Colossus and because of Zealots as well. Like because of the angle of attack specifically in that location, he had access to the middle line of the third base. So David thought he could just never mine. He could just never mine freely on that expansion. Could never really build up. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations with that, MasTeR. He will advance on into the next round, into the grand finals, where he has his opponent ready and waiting for him. It is going to be a best of 5. Best of 5 between MasTeR and Juanito SpeCial. Let's go. Let us go. For now, we are going to be cutting to a short break. We're going to be cutting to a very, very short break. When we come back, we'll have that best of 5. That best of 5 at grand finals. We'll see you soon with that final series. Until then, take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and we'll see you soon for the grand finals. Oh, see you soon. Bye. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals. Let's dive into this here of the CranKy Giants Cup, LatAm number 6. Again, your bi-weekly dose, or even monthly dose of Latin American StarCraft. We made it here to the grand finals. Juanito, SpeCial, we took down Erik 2-0 in the previous semis. MasTeR took down Davito, and now we have our top 2 players. It's going to be Juanito versus MasTeR. Let's go. TVP here. Game 1 is going to be on White Rabbits. Let's go. Again, SpeCial, he has recently returned to competing. SpeCial took a massive break, a massive hiatus like 1-2 years ago. Did take a break from the game, did take a break from StarCraft, but recently starting this year, he did step back in. He started competing again, started playing again, and I believe, actually, I say this year, last year he returned around the time that HSL began. If you remember, that was the Hispanic StarCraft League. That was last year around May of last year. It's when SpeCial started competing again, and recently he's been streaming on a regular basis. He's been coaching as well. He has been very active in his own way in the StarCraft scene, and as a result, he's looking more and more in form, like his old self. Oh boy, coming in as a heavy favorite. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the blue Terran player. We have the Mexican Terran. It is SpeCial. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. So let us go. Speaking of SpeCial providing coaching services, that's why you can see here he's on the coaches team. Made his own team here, promoting himself, of course, but he does do a lot of coaching. He's not a part of Ladder Legends. There's a decent chunk of coaching services out there, but I want to say that SpeCial, he's a part of a different group. I think it's like SpeCial alongside a Laser. It's like SpeCial, Laser, and maybe DNS. Like a couple of the other guys, they have their own like coaching platform that they have been working on, that they have been promoting. Separate to Ladder Legends. Separate. But again, yeah, SpeCial, he took a massive break from the game. You know, he was eventually dethroned when it comes to the Latin American region by Cham. Cham did dethrone him. That was a couple of years ago when it comes to the best player in Latino America. But as I mentioned, after taking a big break last year, he returned around May of last year, during HSL, to start competing again, start playing again, and to commit more into StarCraft. It's been great to see his return. Great to see his return. Great to see him get back into shape, back into form, to the point where now I would say that he is the best in Latin America. I think I would go that far. Like, it's still like SpeCial and Cham. Like, so those are still the top 2 players in Latin America at the moment. Cham has been getting better results on paper. That is true. Cham has been beating players like Showtime and beating players like even Solar as well. Like that was in the recent OSC. So Cham has been getting some better results, but when it comes to like head-to-head fights, it's still quite close between Cham and SpeCial. Still quite close. There we go. SpeCial does move out. We do have a short openers here by MasTeR. So far, so good. I believe double gas. Yep, double gas opener at a SpeCial. Faster factory, faster reacted Reaper Hellion or Reaper Hellion aggression. MasTeR reacts, responds with his own battery. Battery on the low ground, battery on the high ground. We have 2 batteries already this early on. This is because MasTeR, he is aware of the initial aggression. Does keep you safe. I wonder if SpeCial, if he's known for having like these double gas openers be a lot more common. Curious. As just moving out with that hallucination. Double Reaper moves in. And MasTeR should be able to hold his own. Ooh, even does snipe one of the Reapers. Does snipe one. Hallucination confirms the 1-1-1 follow-up. Also confirms that there's no tech lab on the starports. Tech labs on the factory instead. There's no Widow Mines, no Widow Mine drop, and no reacted Reaper Hellion. True. MasTeR just playing it safe. Throwing down 3 more gates. Oh my god, getting up to 4 actually. 4-gate blink out of MasTeR. Hyper aggression. Okay, MasTeR responds with aggression. SpeCial, he's checking for a 3rd base. For all he knows, it could be a robo though. There could be 3 gateways in a robo. So SpeCial still has to confirm. As it's so much later robo here. SpeCial's being active. Does deny the hallucination. But remember, MasTeR, he's gonna have extra stalkers, extra units, extra army, and this should result into a bigger counterattack. So he does get some volleys off on the Cyclone. Does get some volleys off. MasTeR does eventually expand. What's surprising me here is that MasTeR didn't get a prism. He went observer. Usually you'd expect Robo into a war prism into a move out across the map, but no, it's an observer instead, which means MasTeR, despite being stuck with 2 bases and getting this heavy gateway count, he's not actually using it. He's not making use of these gateways, he's not making use of his 4-gate blink. He's now moving out, but very light commitment here by MasTeR. And then SpeCial just pulls the boys. Like, does pull the boys. Ooh, Banshee gets caught. Nice catch. Banshee's caught out. Cloak is being researched. SpeCial, he commits. Now, because of MasTeR's build of choice, he does have extra stalkers than normal. True. He has extra stalkers. So he may be able to hold on here. Chipping away the SAVs. SpeCial, he commits in. Again, it's all or nothing for SpeCial. The first tank goes down, he gets one, he gets 2. Oh my god, he one-shots the tanks. And with that, SpeCial has nothing left. Yeah, SpeCial, I mean, he has mass Vanilla Marine. Vanilla Marines, no stim, no combat shield. Cyclone goes down. And SpeCial, he will lose everything. Blindly going for a 2-base all-in against a 4-gate Protoss. Yeah, 4-gate Blink Stalker completely shuts us down. Do we have the Observer? Nope. No Observer, no detection. We have an Observer that's on the way. Free damage here on the Stalkers. That's nice and all. But MasTeR is going for the kill. Yeah, he's going for the kill. He's going for the throat. Cleans up the reinforcing army. He still just keeps pushing across the map. The Banshee is racing back home. No, commits across the map as well. And back at home, there's one tank to defend. Oh, misclick. Yeah, it does misclick there. One extra shot to the face. MasTer's going to be careful. These Banshees are getting low. But GG. Yeah, GG gets called. MasTeR, he overwhelms the natural. And MasTeR, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very chaotic game here. Winding it back, MasTeR, he himself went for 4-gate Blink Stalker, and I was concerned. I was fixating a lot on MasTeR there because he didn't get a robo. He did get a robo. He didn't get a War Prism. He wasn't counterattacking, so he wasn't achieving anything with his 4-gate Blink. He was stuck with a high gateway count, a high Stalker count, wasn't doing anything with it. But SpeCial came to him, so it was okay. SpeCial went for a 2. He blindly went for a 2-base all-in into a 4-gating Protoss. So as a result, MasTeR, he had more than enough to deal with it. He had more than enough to shut it down. And in the end, SpeCial just ran out of steam. He did peter out. GG. GG, well played. SpeCial, he was punished for his aggression, and MasTeR takes a lead. Does take a lead in the series. And show us what you got. As we are loading into game 2, going to be loading into 10,000 feet. So we are getting into our second game. Again, MasTeR takes the lead, and we'll see if he can extend that lead. We'll see if SpeCial can recover. No boy. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Terran player, the Mexican Terran, down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? It is SpeCial. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the Brazilian Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Let's go. Let us go, as we are going to be opening up, as we are going to be settling in. And I would imagine that this time we won't see any kind of blind all-in from SpeCial. If we see one, I would imagine we're going to be scouting ahead of time first to confirm the gateway count of MasTeR. We'll see how we adjust. I mean, the issue here is that SpeCial, he's known for cheese, he's known for aggression, he's known for all-ins, especially in TVP. So I wouldn't blame MasTeR for being just overly safe, even in game 2 and the rest of the series. We'll see how SpeCial adjusts. Bearing in mind that SpeCial he's a meta build. He's got a lot of different builds, a lot of different styles available to him. He's willing to mech against Protoss, he's willing to proxy, 2 base all in, 3 base all in. Macro play is a little bit rarer from SpeCial in TVP. We do see that in like TVT, like Terran versus Terran. We have like that's maybe the matchup where we see the most macro out of SpeCial. The other matchups he's more aggressive. But sure, so what you got so far? Single gas opener, ranks expand out of SpeCial. Calming down. Gonna be calming down. Likewise from MasTeR, we don't really expect to see MasTeR deviate into like Stargate play or early robot play either. He's not really that kind of player. So from here we can just calm things down. Get into Blink once again. In my mind, there's a higher chance we go into 3-gate Blink this time, but we'll see if he goes into 4-gate once again. I'm not too fond of 4-gate Blink Stalker on 10,000 feet. Not too fond of it. But we'll see. The reasoning for that is, once again, MasTeR blindly going for his 2 batteries. Okay. This is gonna hurt him here. So if you remember last game, I was a little bit perplexed. You could hear it in my voice where I was like, oh, he's opening up double shield battery. I guess he scouted the double gas opener. He didn't scout. He was just blindly going double battery, which actually worked last game. This time, once again, 0 scouting on a MasTeR. He blindly opens up double battery. And this time it's going to hurt him that much more. Last game it made sense because SpeCial did open up double gas. This time it's a single gas opener. This time there's less aggression out of SpeCial. So the safetiness of these batteries, it's less useful here. It's more inefficient out of MasTeR. It's one of those things where blindly playing safe against everything actually puts you behind because you're investing all these resources in defensive setup. So you're not being as economic, you're not being as efficient. Behind this we have 2 gates on the way. It's going to be 3-gate Blink in total so far. And we're expecting at least a robo. Eyes on MasTeR. We didn't get to discuss it, but the reason why I'm not too fond of 4-gate Blink on 10,000 feet is just because rotating back and forth from the main base over towards the natural as the aggressing player, it's very awkward. The distance here to traverse is very long. So very difficult to be overly aggressive. SpeCial going for his own 3-1-1 setup. Very standard build so far by SpeCial. There's been no aggression, no shenanigans. MasTeR going for his own 3rd base after the robo. So again, very safe play out of MasTeR. Very safe. And he scouts a 3-1-1. Unlike previous games, oh, this is a bit of a difference. We have early stim. Usually you'd have tank production, right? We'd have 1, 2 tanks being built here to cover each of the bases. SpeCial, he didn't even scout the main, but he did get eyes on the 3rd base timing. He should know of the at least safer build here of MasTeR. But SpeCial's cutting corners. 0 tanks, heavy bio setup, early stim. Early stim, early combat shields, early marauder production. This is going to hit quite hard in the mid game. Quite hard. And again, this is not normal, as typically we do at least get a couple of safety tanks. So MasTeR's being active. Applying a bit of pressure, just poking in. And again, SpeCial, he's just going to stay at home until he builds up his army, until he moves out with stim. So just staying back home. Building up his forces. We have the Bay on the way here for MasTeR, working towards Colossus. Bearing in mind that Marauders had built a tank. And they're built to dive. With a large enough Zealot count, MasTeR should be fine, but he needs to realize what's happening. Yeah, here we go. The Observer pokes in. He does spot the Stim and Combat Shields on the way. He knows. Yeah, at this point, MasTeR knows. SpeCial does catch one Stalker. Oh, tries to. Stims once again. Oh my god. He wants a Stalker. He gets it. Stalker does go down. 2 Stalkers even. So nice pick offset by SpeCial. Catching at 2 Stalkers. He scans ahead of time. He does spot charge. Is done. Despite that, getting another Stalker. Oh, coming in from behind. Oh my god. SpeCial. Yeah, comes in from behind the Raven. Does armor shred. And now SpeCial can just stim. He just stim in. Breaks through most of the Zealots. Playing it safe. Again, slick moves out of SpeCial. Flanking with the Raven, even here picking up 3 Zealots. The Immortal's exposed. He wants it. He wants the Immortal. We'll see if he can break through. Yeah, not quite. Immortal is saved. MasTeR does hold on, but this was a better trade for SpeCial. You can see here it was 10 Marines and 4 Marauders for 12 Zealots, a Sentry, Observer, Stalker as well. That does fall. Nice snipe there from MasTeR. Nice snipe. He still just chases with the army. SpeCial moving out with his own Mind Drop. Delayed Auto Mind Drop here out of SpeCial. Because it's so late here, more often than not, players are not paying attention. MasTeR might just get caught out. He's distracted. And MasTer's distracted. The Mind Drop comes in. MasTeR does pull away. Oh. Oof. Does pull away in time. Blinking into the army. Crazy. Yeah, blinks in, which means blinks on cooldown. Leading out 2 more Stalkers. And another Mind Drop into the main. Ooh, 5 probe kills. 5 probes. 5 probes to 3 Stalkers. A decent trade here from SpeCial. Does trade well. MasTeR behind this is 4th base is late. So late 4th expansion. SpeCial does have the economic lead. He's even on workers plus mules. And yeah, MasTer's 4th base is very late. From here, SpeCial looking comfortable, building his Vikings. The Academy is on the way to incorporate Ghost production. We are getting into the mid game. And the pressure's on MasTeR. Oh, are we committing? He went in quite deep there. He takes 2 Mind Shots to the face. Calm down, MasTeR. Calm down. As I don't really see him breaking this position. He should just be posturing. Just poke in, pull away, go for the backside with the Zealots. He shouldn't push up the ramp, not with his main army. SpeCial does give chase. Ooh. Okay, he's so close to getting on top of the Colossus. Armor shred on the main army. Marauders, they do tank. Zealots coming from behind. SCVs are going to be going down, but there's a bunker to defend, and the Colossus are exposed. Yeah, losing one, losing both Colossi. Massive pickups. MasTeR did overextend, did lose everything. As you mentioned, MasTeR, he had no need to be this active, this aggressive. And posturing was fine, but he committed. Right, he went for the fight. Being chased down once again. Another Colossus falls. No safety battery here at the 3rd. At the 4th even. Yeah, there's no battery, and SpeCial is going for the kill. Breaks through the Zealots, getting into the Stalkers. Massive pickups. So many Stalkers go down. And GG gets called. GG gets called. SpeCial snowballs out of control. And we tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, a much more tame build here by SpeCial. Still had his own timings available, of course. Still was active and aggressive. He was able to apply a lot of pressure. He had an amazing moment, of course, with the flanking Raven, with the armor shred on the main army. It was very impressive for SpeCial to take over control of the 3rd location. And more importantly, it was just damage over time. He was just out trading the main army, and more importantly, delaying the 4th. The 4th base for MasTeR was very, very late 4th, late saturation, late economy. So that's why there was a lot of pressure on MasTeR to be active. it made sense why he was being active, but he did overextend. Like, he would never push up the ramp and push into SpeCial. He did overstay his welcome, and SpeCial broke out, caught the army. GG. GG, well played. As soon as that army got caught, that was game then and there. Otherwise, we could have seen MasTeR try to stabilize and get his 4th base and pull back with the army and build up into a longer game, but got caught out in the open. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting to game number 3, and we'll see who takes the lead in the series. We're tied up 1-1, and game 3 is going to be on Winter Madness. Okay. Jumping into Winter Madness. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Mexican Terran player, the blue Terran, tying up the series 1-1 and making a series out of this. Having that back and forth, it is SpeCial. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. As the SCV moves out across the map, and I would imagine that this is for an eBay block. Shout out to CranKy Giants, by the way. CranKy Giants Cup Latino America. Shout out to Cosmos for running the event, CranKy Giants for sponsoring the event as well. I assumed that the SCV was moving out for an eBay block, but no, we do commit into a proxy racks. Okay, Juanito, you have my attention. It is going to be a double gas opener out of SpeCial, so we can open up with a racks in the factory. Do we go for a proxy 1-1-1? Curious, is the factory back at home or is it across the map? As gas is being mined, should be a Reaper opener, unless we want to save that gas at the factory. Yeah, Marines on the way. We're holding on to that gas. Show us the factory. Aye. Okay. And there it is. Factory is in production. So again, it all makes sense. The reason why we did skip the Reaper was to hold onto that gas. Again, double gas opener. I was curious to see if it was going to be factory at home, but no, it is across the map. But one base all in. He gets scouted. Oh my god, he gets seen. Yeah, he has been scouted. MasTeR, he knows, he's aware. And how do you defend against this? Typically give up on the natural. You give... Oh, he's going for the low ground defense. But I would say the safest way to deal with something like this is to just give up on the low ground and make your defense, make your stand in your main. We're pulling the boys? We're indecisive. No. Yeah, we pre-pull the boys. That's workers that are no mining, by the way. He's throwing down the wall of shield batteries. He's misreading this. He believes it's a bunker rush. That was a factory, by the way, but he's setting it like the reason why he pre-pulled the boys and why he was looking here, he was looking to shut down a bunker, but there's no bunker whatsoever. It's a 1-1-1. Yeah, so misread by MasTeR. He does misread. Lost mining time. Now going back to mining, but he does cripple his own economy. And we have the Cyclone on the way. And what's this army going to do against the Cyclone? That's back in. Yeah, if he didn't know earlier, now he knows. I think what happened, MasTeR, if you remember, when he scouted it, he saw both buildings. He saw a building, if you will, a building in progression. It's possible that MasTeR thought it was 2 Raxes. And it's possible he might have thought it was like 2 Rax Reaper or 2 Rax Marine Bunker Rush or something of that nature. But here we go. Now, the batteries will help preserve these units, of course, and survive the lock-on. But the tank follow-up is my big concern, as there should be a tank behind this. Jesus, we're getting up to 4 batteries on the low ground. Now, MasTeR has to do everything he can to stop the tank from getting within range. If the tank gets within range of these batteries, that's game, right? Because that's just free dead batteries, then we can just slowly push forward. MasTeR, he has to fight for map control. He has to. And now, doing well for himself. Picks up a Marine, picks up an SCV. He can pull back to the battery. And he does. Yeah, so far, so good. So far, so good. The tank has arrived. Yeah, now we have the tank. Now we have burst damage. Stalker taking a lot of hits. Tank does siege. And MasTeR, he has to be so careful here. He's playing with fire. As I mentioned before, we'll see if the tank can go within range. Oof. Tank shot goes off. Yeah, it's going to be 2 tank volleys on the main army. You can see the first battery running out of energy. SpeCial does reposition. Still out of range of the batteries, but he does get a free shot off on the adepts. Shot goes up. MasTeR's committing. Yeah, he does commit. Liberation has arrived. Ooh, Stalkers are being focused down. Yeah, he's using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Stalkers. Yeah, the boys have arrived as well. Now there's a second tank. SpeCial's trading well, but he doesn't really have much of a buffer. True. There's a world where MasTeR can still get on top of these tanks. Gee, look how many batteries he has. Max Pack, is that you? Oh my god. Goes 7 batteries. Down to 6. Down to 5. Yeah, down to 5 batteries. Boys are being pulled and MasTeR is desperate. He needs to get on top of those tanks. Yeah, tank shots intentionally on the Stalkers. And that's going to be all the Stalkers going down. I say that Zealous, they do get on top of the army. 1 tank does fall. Okay, MasTeR is he holding. Doesn't get both tanks. Both tanks go down, and MasTeR, he does barely hold on. Whew. Okay, well, calm down. What we from here, we have to back off. We have to regenerate all our shields. MasTeR is holding. He's doing well for himself. I was second guessing his response early on. I mean, it was he did overreact and did misread. It was a messy defense early on, but now he's came with the production. He's trying to bleeds out 3 zealots. Yeah, 3 zealots are thrown away. How many gateways do we have? 4. No robo. That's a little bit risky. Yeah, no robo, just 4 gateways. Tank volleys going up. Once again, SpeCial trying to bait the army into tank range. More boys are soon to arrive. Liberator into the main base. This time not with the main army. And again, MasTeR has to be so careful because he doesn't know where the army's sieged, right? We could see SpeCial just leapfrog forward by a couple of hexes, then siege up, and then catch out the army. Liberator into the main base. It's 1, 2 probes. Getting up to 4, not bad. SpeCial once again, I believe he's trying to bait the army in. Oh, there we go, gets a shot off. Liberator does barely survive. This is tying up 2 Stalkers in the main. That's some tied up supply. Now we've built up to a 3rd tank. SpeCial is gaining ground. Does get one of the batteries down to 4. 4 batteries left. SpeCial pushing forward. And you can see he's slowly gaining ground here. Bunkers now on the way. Gets another battery down to 3. 3 batteries left. MasTeR coming in from behind trying to catch reinforcements. Yeah, risky maneuver here. As he does take down the tech lab. Now going for the factory. SpeCial, he commits. Down to 2 batteries. Down to 0. Yeah, 0 batteries left. We mentioned this at the beginning, if you remember. The win condition for SpeCial is to get the tanks within range of the batteries. And that happened. The battery count was reset. MasTeR supply blocked. And SpeCial's done it. It took a while. It was a really long one-base all-in. But SpeCial, he did outposition. He was able to outposition, able to get within range of the batteries. And now what can MasTeR do? Like, he has no charge. He has no blink. He has to try to run into 4 tanks, a bunker, and a liberator. How does he? He doesn't. The natural's going to go down. Massive pickup. MasTeR going for the base trade. And SpeCial, he turns around. I was gonna say that SpeCial has to make a choice. Either commit further into the main or turn back around. He's doing both. Or he's maintaining this position, but does he go back home with enough units? There is a Liberator. Okay, there is a Liberator. Remember, there is no blink. The Stalkers have to run through the Liberation Zone. Oh, doesn't siege. Oh my god. It doesn't siege for a moment. The drop does come back home in time. Does force a recall. SpeCial, he defends. He defends the main base. MasTeR, he's running out of resources in his own main. Jesus. Does have a large army though. Can he commit? He's gonna have to commit into bunkers. He's going for it. It does push in. They come in from behind. They commit to the shade. And so many Stalkers are being focused on by the tanks. Yeah, tanks, they focus them down. Bunkers, they hold their own. Final tank does fall. There's one more though. Yeah, one more tank has arrived, and with that, MasTeR is broken. GG gets called, and SpeCial takes game number 3, taking a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense, a very chaotic game here. Once again, winding it back, it did look like MasTeR misread the early game. It looked like he didn't click on the building, on the building that was being constructed, and he did pre-pull the boys in preparation for bunkers that never quite arrived. So it was a bit of a messy, bit of a shaky early game, of course. Initially, though, I will say that MasTeR did a great job when it came to defending the natural. I was very surprised. He was able to get on top of the tanks, force the sieges early on, out of range of the batteries as well, and take some better fights, to clean up the army as well. It looked like MasTeR was holding, but then we saw SpeCial pull back. He pulled back, he built up his army once again, he rotated towards the left hand side, and this time he did get within range of the batteries. Ideally, if the batteries are behind your army, you're able to tank some tank shots, you're able to engage, pick away at the army, and trade with the tanks, but we saw that the tanks, they wedged themselves in between the army and the batteries, and that was game. That was game then and there. And with that, we're now getting into game number 4. Oh boy, SpeCial is up 2-1, but still a very intense back and forth, still very close, still very clutch. MasTeR get his own good moments, of course, as well, his own strong moments. But now we're loading into Ruby Rock. Here we go. Here we go. Beautiful. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Mexican Terran player. We have the blue Terran, the blue Terran player himself, leading the series 2-1. It is SpeCial. And spawning in the top left hand corner here of Ruby Rock, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Here we go. As now it's MasTeR's turn. Let's go. Now it's MasTeR's turn to be active and to cheese at a setup for the proxies. Ay. It is going to be here outside of the third location of SpeCial. Interesting location here with the proxies. No gases back at home, so we're looking at maybe a 3 gate, either 2 or 3 gateways. We'll see how committed MasTeR is going to be. So here we go. We have the initial 2 gates. Still no gases, so we're leaning towards another gateway. No, never mind. Okay, gas is being taken. Okay. So 2 gate. So it's going to be a 2 gate opener here into gases back at home. It's going to be double zealot into quadruple zealot into a cyber core into either adept or stalker reinforcements. But hyper aggressive here from MasTeR. And we do see that SpeCial is going for 2x Reaper. That's unfortunate. No, if this was a standard economic opener, then MasTeR would have the advantage, but SpeCial is going 2x Reaper suddenly, and as a result, he can catch out the first couple of zealots. But what's important is that he can just go across the map, and there's nothing at home. There's no gateways. There's no production back at home. We're gonna have to rely on a recall. Even then, it's gonna be a shaky defense. As Reapers are amassing. Considering going off of Twitch as well, so given what's happening in my life, I hope everything's okay. SpeCial, hope everything's okay. But if you do have to, if there are things happening IRL and you have to step away from certain things, then look after yourself. Look after yourself. That's what's most important. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good, Spacky. We'll be here when you return. We'll True. Oh, the star cat. But look after yourself, Matthew. Look after yourself. Oh, as CC is going to be cancelled, is going to be denied. Reapers, they turn around to deal with the Zealots. And so far, they should be able to handle them nicely. Stalkers, they come in to reinforce. Stalkers are coming in. CC on the high ground. The bunker is going to be denied. The boys are being pulled. We'll see if that bunker can finish. Catching out one of the Zealots. Surrounds the other. Yeah, nice catch. Both Zealots are going to go down. The bunker is halfway done. And SpeCial's holding. And if you recall, my concern here isn't about the defense, it's about the offense. It's about the counterattack. As MasTeR is just zoned away. Behind this, he's expanding. The game will continue. MasTeR is transitioning. But the bunker is now done. And here come the Reapers. Oh boy. Yeah, the Reapers are moving out. Remember, there's nothing at home to defend. There is going to be that recall. And thankfully, there's a safety battery. Okay, there's a safety battery. That will help. SpeCial moves out. We'll see what he can get done. SpeCial holds on to the main. Getting his own CC. Third racks as well. 3 rack stim follow-up. And so far, just getting free damage. Kills a probe. Denies mining. There's the recall back home. And SpeCial defense. SpeCial does defend nicely here. The game will continue. We're going for earlier concussive shell, and the big moment that we're waiting for is the stim timing. With the 3 axes finishing, we'll have concussive shell, we'll have combat shields, and stim all finishing up quite early, actually. It'll be finishing quite quickly, and because of MasTeR's build of choice, late Twilight Council, late Blink, late Charge. It's going to be a difficult defense here for MasTeR against the stim timing. As Reapers hit the natural, getting 1 probe. Getting a worker, likewise SpeCial, he is soon to break out. He does have concussive shell. He's looking for the proxy. He's searching for the proxy. He will find it. There we go, the gateways are found. The army does respond. And when stim finishes, then it's go time. So still waiting for the upgrades. SpeCial claims they're natural. Blink should be done in time, but again, these gateways are being depowered. They're going to be dealt with, and how many gateways do we have back at home? There's going to be 2. There's going to be 2 gateways back at home, so limited reinforcements, limited warp ins. Assuming that SpeCial deals with the proxy. Yeah, he will. He's now moving out. SpeCial does move in. He moves in, depowers the gateways. With that, MasTeR is down to 2 gates, soon to be 3. And how many Stalkers do we have? 7. We have 7 Blink Stalkers. SpeCial, he may decide to pull the boys here. With the factory on the way, there's less of a chance. Okay. Getting his factory, he's taking up even further into a longer game. But stim is about to finish, and now it is time to push across the map. And again, this is a terrifying army here. Stalkers on their own cannot deal with this. Blink will help somewhat, and there is, I believe, a battery. Yeah, there's 1 battery here on the low ground. There's a sentry. There are force fields available as well to try to slice up the low ground. SpeCial, let's commit. Yeah, does commit, does him in. It breaks through the battery, breaks through the Stalkers, no more sentry. And again, even with Blink, it's going to be, there's no hold. There's no defense here. In the end, the proxy 2 gate just was not worth of a MasTeR. Boys are being pulled. Desperation here out of our Protoss, and SpeCial snowballs out of control. GG, well played. And SpeCial, he will claim the series 3-1, becoming this month's Code for Giants Cup LatAm champion. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. SpeCial will claim the series. He will become our champion. Winding it back, MasTeR took a big risk. He went for a 2-gate opener, and as a reminder, if SpeCial went for a standard build, MasTeR could excel. Like, there's a lot of potential with that build, with that army, with the early aggression, if SpeCial was expanding on the low ground, if it was going for a regular Rax into CC. But no, SpeCial went for a 2 Rax opener. Remember, he went double Rax into 2 Rax Reaper into that 3 Rax stim timing follow-up, and because of that, he was able to defend, able to counterattack. Specifically because of the 2 Rax Reaper, he forced the recall. In another world, if he didn't have those Reapers, if he didn't have those extra Raxes, he wouldn't force the recall, and then SpeCial would be contained on one base at least. He would at least be contained on one base, and then MasTeR could expand and build up a greater economy. But no, he forced the recall, so SpeCial freely expanded, took his own natural, built up his economy, and then just snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. So almost a build order win there for SpeCial, to be honest. Like, it was just a really unfortunate turn of events there for MasTeR, going for his 2 gates against a 2 Rax. GG. GG, well played with that. SpeCial Zed was out of control, but we had a back and forth. And MasTeR did make SpeCial bleed, of course. I do favor SpeCial against all these players, but MasTeR did definitely threaten him in the finals. GG, well played, congratulations. And a big shout out to Cosmos. Once again, Cosmos, he is a big positive force when it comes to Latin American StarCraft. He's been focusing and fixating a lot on the Brazilian scene for the past couple of years, but this year he did begin the LatAm tournaments to spread his wings, or to, I guess, branch out a little bit and to help out the greater Latin American scene as well, with these LatAm tournaments as well. Not just Brazil, but also greater Latin America. GG, well played. Much love to Cosmos. Again, Cosmos, he is a Brazilian caster, a Portuguese caster. He is the Portuguese caster in StarCraft, by the way. Like, whenever you see a big major event, he's covering it in his own native language, of course, and has been investing quite a lot into the local scene. Last year, there was a big offline event in Sao Paulo, if you recall. That was the Circuito Brasileiro. I don't know if they'll do another one this year, but it was a big event last year, and they enjoyed themselves, at a great time, and wish them the best when it comes to making more events in the future. Wish them the best. But otherwise, with that, we are going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Again, congratulations to SpeCial. A shout out to MasTeR for making it into the grand finals, and a shout out to Erik and Tavito for competing in the semis as well. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up. Very quickly here, we're going to be heading over to the rest of our schedule. As you can see, we just wrapped up with our morning Friday broadcast. Tomorrow we're going to be live with SEL, with the StarCraft Evolution League. As a reminder, if you missed it, we were covering the SEL last night during the podcast, and it was recently announced that they are ending their bi-weeklies, their fortnight tournaments, their open cups. There's going to be an end to the open cups, so we're going to cover them while we can, but there's a bit of a silver lining here. They're going to be ending their open cups because they're going to be running these bigger leagues instead. Basically, StarCraft Evolution League Code S. All the money that was being spent on these open tournaments are instead going to be pulled together for these big seasonal events instead. It was a hard call to make, and there's pros and cons for either side, of course. I do think this is probably a positive thing, or probably better. I mean, ideally you have both. Ideally you have open cups and you have the big league, but right now they only have funds for one or the other, and they've chosen to end the open cups and go for these big, like, qualifiers leading into like a big group stage, into like a big GSL like event, with the GSL group stage into like the playoff bracket. And they plan on hosting that on a seasonal basis, of course. So that'll be occurring. That'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks, in the next month of play. So until then, we got to catch up with all the open cups, and that's going to be tomorrow. We also have the Universe Titan Cup. I say that they are going to be rescheduling that. So for those that are unaware, Saturday evening we were going to be hosting a best of 7 show match between Percival and Rogue. It was going to be amazing, going to be beautiful, but it's going to be rescheduled. The reason why it's going to be rescheduled is because Percival and Rogue, they're playing in GSL. The GSL qualifiers were this week, and GSL starts next week, the group stage, and Percival and Rogue are in the same group. They're in the same group, they're playing next week, and Universe, the organizer of the event, was like, oh, I don't really want to like make them play each other ahead of time when they want to focus on GSL, right? And GSL is all about preparation, right? They know their opponents ahead of time, so it'd be kind of weird to host a show match between them before GSL, because then most likely they don't want to show their builds. Like, they might play in a weird way because GSL takes priority, right? And that's a more important match, so they wouldn't want to reveal anything early on. So instead, it's going to be rescheduled for after GSL. So the show match is going to be rescheduled. It's still going to be Percival versus Rogue, which is going to be a lot of fun. Percival recently, he has been beating Solar on a regular basis. He beat Solar in the GSL qualifiers, and he beat Solar in another recent Open Cup as well. So Percival's doing really, really well when it comes to, I think it was the group stage even, the group stage of like the TLMC event. But Percival's been looking dominant against Solar. We'll see how he does against Rogue. But again, we'll see after GSL. Until then, though, we're going to be wrapping up. For the time being. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And again, we'll be live tomorrow with some StarCraft Evolution content. SEL. SEL is going to be tomorrow, and Tuna Cup is going to be on Sunday. We don't have a cast this evening, just because we want one evening off. we want one evening off. That's going to be this evening, of course, and I guess we'll have tomorrow evening off as well. The Thermal 2v2 circuit is also over the weekend. Bear that in mind. Also over the weekend. More StarCraft. Otherwise, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, so you can check us out on Patreon. Likewise, you can also check us out over on the socials. We do upload on YouTube every single day. So if you see something that you like here, if, for example, you missed out on the GSL qualifiers, we were the only English casters covering GSL. So if you want to watch the GSL qualifiers, VODs on YouTube. VODs are over on YouTube. You can check it out there. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Until then, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.